And we are live. What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey! And we have an Evan this time, unlike last time.
yay!
Do we?
Huzzah!
You sure about that?
Oh no, do we? Welcome. This is episode 26 of our main campaign. For first-time viewers, we are a D&D actual play Twitch stream and podcast. We play Wednesdays 8:30 with the podcast release a week later.
What does
Um,
an actual play mean? May I interrupt
Actual
you?
play.
What does that mean?
Yeah, an
What is the
actual
D&D
play.
actual
like
play
like no
stream?
edits. Like
Yeah,
we're
no
actually
edits.
it's just us
Yeah.
playing the game.
Gotcha. Okay. Continue.
Am I
Sorry.
allowed to continue? Okay.
Yes.
No, you're done. You're done. That's all.
All right, let's go. I'm done. No. So yeah, no new followers this week, but instead of new followers, we have a new follower goal going. So we're doing another giveaway. At 150 followers, we're going to do this time. It's the winner's choice of any official Wizards of the Coast rulebook. So that means Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Monster Manual, any of the core supplements like Xanathar's, Tasha's, all those, or any official adventures if you want those instead. So whatever you don't have in your collection, sign up. One random winner out of the 150 followers will get a book of their choice, either D&D Beyond digital or physical copy. So yeah, follow now. We're at 106. That means 44 more slots left to go until we're doing the giveaway. So get in while you can.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't believe
44.
I have any news. Yeah. That's the number I said. As we don't have any other. I don't have any other news for you guys. Unless anyone else has something to share. I don't know.
Just happy to be here.
Same.
Yep, ready to play. Happy to play.
Same. All right. Well,
Gen Con was awesome. I met a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
cool D&D nerds. I played a lot of Star Wars Legion. I got to play Twilight Imperium 4th edition for the first time ever. If anybody know what that
Ooh.
is, like
Isn't that the one that takes like 14 hours to play?
rumored. We did it in 5.5.
Rumored.
But yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
But it was super awesome. So I recommend to anybody that's into role playing games to go to a convention and play a role playing game with people you don't know. It's super fun. So
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Glad you had fun.
If anyone on the stream saw him, let us know.
no one saw me.
Okay, good.
I had
No,
a mask. I had a mask on.
it's very, very sneaky.
Yeah, he's sneaking around, hiding in the shadows.
What I thought about is I should have had some merchandise to walk around and advertise our.
We should
stream while I
make
was there.
merch.
Yeah, we don't really
Well-
have merchandise except we have to make a sticker
Well,
of
I'm
Mizo.
just
That's probably
saying
the closest
we
thing.
don't need to make merch right now, but like
No,
I
we
wish
could
I
do
had
like one of
something.
those sites where like you don't actually have to make it. Like you just put the designs up and people can order
Well,
it
there's
on whatever.
there's people just handing out their cards for different types of podcasts and games and stuff like that. But I would rather
This
be able to
fire
feels
it
like a
done.
discussion for
That's
after the
what I
stream.
mean. Yeah.
Anyway,
I vote for foam
I'm
finger.
the dungeon master. We start whenever I decide we
Okay,
start.
you're
Okay.
right.
Indeed. I would be careful where you tread, Gordon. I would be careful where
I'll
you
go
tread.
back to hiding in my corner here.
You're within
What if you're
striking
so
distance of the big golden centurion.
Yeah, you all are.
Reach.
All right, so let me just pull this up then real quick. So I'm not allowed to speak. Okay. So, we continued our adventure last week as you all were huddled within the depths of this odd dwarven hall made of pure gold. All of you recovering from your journey downward into this hall. The odd time stretch and time loops and just almost like a walk through space that you made to come to this hall. Some of you more affected than others, mentally and physically. As you huddle into this one tiny corner of this massive dwarven hall, some of you decided to take some watches, have some discussions, peruse about the room, while some of you realize that Mizo, our friendly neighborhood kobold / guide / adventurer, was discovered as he tirelessly tried to climb a pillar to try to get on to this beautifully designed chandelier made of pure gold and these large crystals. Seemingly had fallen asleep up there. Eggval, the curious type, went and yelled out towards him, and as he did, he startled the poor creature, who began to fall. About the 60-foot distance between the top of the chandelier to the ground. But before Mizo impacted the ground, he hit something in midair, almost like an invisible barrier. As he kind of landed flat and his spear kind of skidded next to him. Mizo stood, looked down, and believed he was flying. Eggval, you couldn't see anything that he was standing on. It was almost as if this little kobold was flying indeed, or floating at least. With cheers of victory and joy, it seemed like Mizo took one false step, and he began to tumble. Boom, 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 seeming to hit invisible walls or barriers or platforms on his way down. And down he fell until he eventually hit the ground, in pain, but with some success, thinking that he was able to fly, blaming you now that he can't anymore. With long story short, with the help of Castus, you guys began to investigate what were these invisible platforms that Mizo had fallen from. With a little bit of experimentation with some water and some blind luck, Eggval managed to climb up about 3 or 4 of these platforms to get just below where Mizo had fallen. Odd. Not too sure why exactly. These invisible platforms even exist. Mizo clambered back up and demanded that you aid him in getting one of these large crystals that were set into one of the holes in the chandelier. A little bit of more creative thinking and a rope, you managed to get Mizo back up there, and a crystal successfully gathered. The journey down, a little bit more successful than his first. Mizo made his way down alongside you eventually. The rest of you waking up after hearing the commotion of this adventure that we had with these invisible platforms. The first idea coming to mind for the party was that Yorins was to be sent up and kind of scout the area where Eggval and Mizo had journeyed on these little invisible platforms, because knowing that her cat, Velkin's cat, could be able to see invisibility. Whenever Velkin went into the eyes of her cat, it did reveal something. A ruined tower leaning up against one of these pillars. The platforms that Eggval and Mizo that had jumped upon were actually broken floors of this tower. Like actual broken stories of the tower. Not too sure why. There wasn't much in the interior other than ruins and rubble. Why this thing existed. Eventually getting out of the range of her vision, she had to bring Urans back. Discussing this with a little bit of the party, we decided to move on. Excuse me. Within this dwarven hall, you discover 2 large wooden doors. One to the right of you, the other to the left. And it seemed like this hall continued in front of you, on and on and on, till almost the horizon disappeared. There was one in this dwarven hall deep underneath the earth. You decided that left would be your most beneficial option out of the 2 doors. After getting to the large door, you discover that it was protected by some sort of dwarven runes that some of you eventually tried over and over again until lessons learned. You figured out how to get rid of the runes and began to open the door. As a mechanism, kind of fell from underneath the door a large wheel that was inset in one of the grooves. And at that point, you heard the stomping and crashing, something large against the door. And as it began to get open, you saw a large metal, bronze gauntleted hand crushed through. As the door continued to push forward, you saw the head of a large dwarven centurion, standing about 10 feet tall, crushing through the door. And that's where we ended. The rest of you kind of beginning to draw your weapons and back up from the door as this thing approached. You cast protection from good and evil, correct?
Yeah, on Gordon. Yeah.
Any other preparations that were made that I've
On me
did not
in real
did not
life.
write down?
Vel can cast mage armor.
Mage armor. Anything else that was done? Okay.
I can think of.
As the door slowly gets pushed open by this thing's weight, it kind of shudders for a moment. As it doesn't, the door seems to be on a mechanism, though it seems to be almost pressurized to the point where it's not just flying open with this thing's weight. It seems to be slowly clambering open, or slowly opening as this thing's weight falls into it. You all back up. This thing falls face forward in front of all of you. Dust kicking up. Its arm protruding out sort of the door. The door cracked open. Lays there, face first, on the ground.
It stops moving.
It stopped moving. It fell. It seemed like it fell into the door and has fallen.
Was it very clear that it was like moving before though, or
It sounded like it was.
could it?
It's hard to discern.
So I guess I'm standing there. I've got the sword out. I'll just kind of poke it.
So you get closer because you all did back up a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't have backed up more than a couple steps because I'm the one that opened the door, I think.
Okay. So you back up, or you get closer and you begin to just poke this thing. So as you get closer, you can tell that
just
the
a little.
armor on this thing has seen some weathering. This odd greenish blue discoloration begins to form on the side of its pauldrons and the gauntlets and its armor. The bronze, not as beautiful as it probably once was, scuffed with silver. You can see silver pockmarks as if it had been scuffed and dragged through a hallway full of rugged stone. Scrapes all across its body. The large helmeted face, you can see that there is no light or anything coming other than a blackness. The large chin on this thing's molded face just kind of scraped and dented in many different places. The large, what is this thing called on a centurion's helm? I can't remember, but
Plume?
Fin.
Plume, correct. We'll call it a plume. The large plume actually broken off at the tip of the front here. You can tell that it was cast in some sort of steel or silver before it was coated in bronze. This kind of lays, and it seems odd and weathered as well. You poke it, ting, ting, ting.
Hey,
It sounds like empty armor.
We see anything beyond it through the door?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'll cast light on the sword. Excuse me.
16, I think.
16.
Yeah,
As
16.
Calder casts light on the sword as you approach the doorway and you kind of peek your way in, you can see a large ramp kind of just descends. This beautiful inlaid stone, no longer the golden floors. The hallway itself lit by these torches that kind of go up the ramp on both sides.
We think he could
The
have been
torches look
maybe.
like normal fire? Sorry.
They're not blue flame, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
We think maybe he could have been propped up against the door.
Or
Maybe something already fought it.
maybe it was trying to. What is it?
I want to cast light on my pistol and then get up by the face plate and kind of put my pistol near it so I can kind of shine light into it, see if there's anything actually inside the helmet.
It's easy enough to do. So you get down. You kind of have to crouch down a little bit to shine the light into the small slit that it's on his helm. You shine in there, and it seems to be an empty helmet.
Yeah, there's nothing in here.
Well, just because there's nothing fleshy doesn't mean there's nothing important. Isaiah's gonna start trying to figure out how it's made and whether it's just a suit of armor or if it used to be something.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Sure.
What are the rest of you doing? See, he does that.
Is there any dust on the floor down the ramp? Any signs of other movement, other life? Anything scratched in the walls? Trail signs? Anything?
With the 16, it's hard to tell. You'd have to actually step beyond this creature, up and over it, and into the room, to be able to see, get a better eye.
How far can we tell? Like, I mean, Vulcan's got really good dark vision. How far the ramp goes up?
Yeah, it continues on and on and on till it seems like it crests eventually, probably about 50 or 60 feet.
I can send Jornsen up to the crest through his vision.
That's a good idea. Sorry, Tim, you said it goes up or it goes down?
It ascends. It ascends.
Descends. Okay.
Ascends. It goes up.
Ascends. Okay.
Well, Isaiah is looking over the thing. You can take a look.
Yeah.
All right, I hear no objections, and she's gonna toss Jornsen.
She tosses him.
Okay. For a moment, he sits on the suit of armor, ting, 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 as Isaiah is kind of looking it over. And what'd you roll?
19.
19. So what exactly are you trying to figure out?
First thing is it just like a sculpture of a suit of armor, or is it something that used to move? And then if it is something that used to move, how did it used to move?
Okay. With a 19, you can tell that it seems like near where the joints would be connected, there is definite like wear and tear, meaning that this thing definitely moved at one point. You can also see, being the engineer that you are and having created Ook, small, tiny, look like weld marks along the seam of one of the chest pieces here, down the side of it, looking like it was sealed in some manner. But yeah.
Oh, he immediately busts out a chisel and a hammer and starts going to town.
Okay. It will take some time, so go ahead and just roll me a d20 and either add your strength or intelligence modifier.
Do you want some help with that?
Sure. Here, just I'll hold it. You hammer.
This will be strength then.
Okay.
Same modifier anyway.
With disadvantage. However you guys want to do it.
Yeah, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
I got a 3 either way.
For okay, is it strength or athletics?
Strength. Just roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
+4.
All right.
You can add your proficiency bonus as well. Apologies.
Oh well, then yes. That would be a 25.
Nice.
So, Isaiah, you're hammering, or who's doing what here?
I'm holding
hammering
the chisel so it goes in the right place, and he'll just smack it hard.
Begin. Okay. It will take some time as you see the chisel kind of insert itself a little bit. You will have to do this multiple times and probably spend a good half hour to even get enough of it to pull it apart.
Bro, not worthwhile.
Please.
That's a lot of time, Isaiah.
We
We're
just
on the clock.
wasted however many years we were walking through that hallway. I just need something. Please.
Buddy, I hear you. I really do. I don't think we can waste any more time.
All right. Isaiah takes the hammer back and goes back to work.
Okay. We will get back to you in 2 seconds. You send Jorans up the ramp. he sees next to him these fluttering torches. Every few feet, probably about 5 or 6 feet, they're inset in some holders on the wall. Eventually, Yorins goes the 50, 60 feet until the ramp turns in just a flat line. Can I have a perception check from you, Yorins?
Yeah. Sorry, why do I never have his sheet open? He is proficient in that. Okay. I got a 5 plus 5 for a 10.
Okay. So, he does see something. He sees, as he begins to fly on this level part, he flies past 2 separate doorways, one on the right and one on the left. And in front of him, before he gets just about too far until you realize that you're going to have to bring him back, you see a large door. Crude wood. Seems very old in age. You can tell that the brown has turned to gray, with rusted steel handles until you have to turn and bring him back. It isn't an arch with stones kind of surrounding it. 2 large torches inset above it, kind of flickering, lighting this doorway. So 2 doorways on the left and right. Then the hallway itself is only probably 15, 20 feet in width. The ramp is much wider. It seems like once it gets to the top, there's a sort of a wall that comes in and closes the gap and heads towards this doorway.
Before she calls him back, 2 things. Can she get Eorns to like focus on like inhaling and seeing if he can smell anything coming from any of the doors?
Sure. Give me another perception check.
Okay. Just to clarify, he has keen smell, so I roll with advantage for it. Okay, so it's a 17 plus 5.
17 plus 5, so 22. It smells like stale earth or stale like a dungeon, like a deep, old dungeon. That dust and mold is kind of set into the air here. It's much different than the like freshness of this large golden hall that you spent the evening in. Seems much older.
And then, weird question, but just to make sure I ask, any sense of poison when he smells?
No, not in the air.
Okay. Yeah, she'll tell him to come back, and as he's going, doing so, come out of his senses and say, so there's 3 doorways, smaller one on the left and on the right, and then at the end of the hall is like a very big one, old, dusty, smells like a dungeon. I couldn't really pick up anything more than that.
So many choices.
Ugh.
Well, I'm assuming that wherever we want to go, somebody is probably ahead of us. So maybe we look for signs of other people?
Maybe. We might be coming in from another angle. They were working with the drow.
True.
You're working with the drow too? Oh, no, sorry, stupid joke.
Yeah, but you don't count.
It's fair.
Like you.
Oh.
You're one of the good
Ish.
ones.
Oh, you all are too sweet.
Good-ish.
But yeah, so we have options this way, or there was another door, correct?
Yeah, the other door, and
Yeah.
then, I mean, down the hall, there could be more.
We have a million doors for all we know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the ones that know
alright.
what we're looking for. Does this seem like it?
There is from what I could tell, I couldn't get all the way to the end of the hall with my vision in Yorns, but it just looks old. It smells old. It doesn't look like there's much more to it.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing up there, we just come back and check out the other door.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
move slowly through and make sure there's no traps.
Yeah, but you do that. You're a little better at that
I'll
than me.
take point on that.
I
Real
can
quick.
help as well.
Real
Okay.
quick, this conversation is happening. Essentially, we're all in the same place. With my experience, do I know whether or not the door would look old if it was sealed underground, or if it would have to be exposed to some, above ground elements, more like to age in a way like that.
Which door are you talking about?
The one she was describing at the end of the hall.
Roll me just a general intelligence check.
Sure.
Come on, smarty boy.
Morty.
Oh, it hovered on the 20 for like half a second, but then total's still not bad. 15.
15. The wood itself would have to be exposed to some sort of outdoor elements to age like that. Eventually, wood will decay, but the way she's described it, kind of changing color like that would mean that it probably had seen some weather or moisture in its time.
So it just looks up from the body from a second and goes, that might actually be a way out. Doors
It is.
underground in a dry environment don't do that. Might be either outside or, well, I mean, we had plenty in the sewer, but that had some shit in the air. Literally. So maybe an aquifer or outside.
If it is a way out, that'd be nice to not have to go back the way we came.
On the other hand, does that make it a good bet for the way that we want to go, given that they might have a way in from the outside?
Not necessarily, but there's only one way to know. If there is another way out, I would like to know so that in case we have to retreat really quickly, we know which direction we want to take.
Yeah. Well, we got
Falcon.
fuck all to tell us which way to go, so you just want to go for it?
Yeah.
Isaiah, are you still working on the construct?
Yep.
A nod to Isaiah. Anyone got any ideas for this?
Give me one more roll, strength check, please.
You feel a warmth in your pocket? Sorry, I would have said that sooner, but I forgot I was muted.
Do you want to do that now or for when I'm figuring out how it's...
You feel a warmth? A warmth, trust it.
It's his
distant
hand
warmth.
on your thigh.
A warmth, yes.
That's up to
Very
me.
creepy.
Warmth.
And you are
I
inspired.
got a treat for you.
Oh no.
It's up to
Oh,
an
you're
8
so
by now, right?
inspiring.
Okay.
Liam.
Huh?
Those are 8s by now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because that was not a... Jeez. Gonna be here forever. Just strength is 11.
Add your proficiency modifier
14.
too. 14. The second impact next to Calder's ting. You probably have a good, 6-7 inch gap in the metal armor that the chisel was able to form before you hear Calder say, any ideas about that? Assuming that he was talking about you.
Yeah. Keep going until it's done.
I don't know if it would help Isaiah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could heat up the metal.
Well, you said there's like a 7-inch gap now.
It's probably about like that wide.
The
2
sword
large
is
impacts.
lit. I'll put like the tip of it in the gap. Take a look in there. See if there's anything worth bothering with.
So when you do that, all I see is the light from the thing you stick in there.
Well, put your hand to the side like a blinder. Just look in the hole.
Do you do that?
Yep.
Okay. You look inside. And your eyes have to adjust to the light being right next to it for a moment. Kind of blink a couple times. You look, and inside you can see this intricate maze of metal, gears, all sorts of different things, connecting in intricate different ways. Gears that probably shouldn't even work in some the way the directions that they look. Give me an investigation check. This is gonna be with disadvantage since you don't have much room to go with.
Guidance.
You are standing there helping me out.
Yep.
I mean, it's not bad
Slap
to
his butt.
begin with, but 26.
26. You can see that the way the gears connect, they actually seem to. There's mechanisms at the top of the gears, like these small little metal. I couldn't call them posts in a way that they would actually seem to rotate. With this thing's arm would move up, you could see where the thing would actually rotate, so it would connect with a different gear to make it be able to move in any direction that it would really want to. And deep within inside its core, you can see this bronze sphere. Its color kind of shines the light in just this right direction. You can see it kind of glimmer. It almost looks like a globe with these 2 large brass rings around the center of this thing.
Mm.
You can see it's connected by all of these same small, thin brass tubes that kind of go in all these different directions, connecting to these poles which connect to the gears.
Now that is an interesting new idea. If you guys want to go check that door, go ahead. I've got some. There's a heart to this thing.
We'll do some scouting. I've got a connection.
Yeah.
I can fall back.
Yeah, how about Ren, Velkin, and I will go check it out while you guys kind of Calder kind of keep an eye on Redrick and Isaiah just in case.
If that's a potential exit, I'm going with y'all.
I don't love splitting up in here.
Well, I kind of get closer to Calder, so Isaiah isn't exactly within in earshot. Kind of keep my voice down. Well, Isaiah is like barely holding on, and Redrick is losing his goddamn mind. I don't think we have a choice but to, just so we can get a path.
I mean, that might be more reason not to, but sure.
If
God.
if anything happens, I could make one of us faster. And we could try to catch up if something happens down there, while the other one stays and watches Isaiah.
Very fast when I need to be.
Let's go do it.
Ren, who are you connected
with,
to?
Ren?
I'm connected to Velkin, Red, and Isaiah.
Give us a holler if anything happens.
Will do. And I
Or
start
just
climbing over
Wait
this
for my,
thing.
or just wait for my signal as I hold up the pistol and follow after,
Let's do it the quiet way first.
just in case. It's like a no
Who's
shit
going?
button. Damn.
I'm taking
you too?
point.
Redrick, did you say you were going with them or not?
If they're checking out the door, I'm going with them.
Okay.
Did you want Velkin to come? She could stay. She doesn't care.
Well, if Castus and Red are coming, then you should probably stay here and help protect them.
All right, she's fine with that. She'll actually crouch down beside Isaiah and kind of provide just general
Moral
knowledge.
support.
Commentary.
Yeah.
I'll,
I mean, it's one smart person talking to another smart person. Maybe they can figure something out.
They're
I'll
gonna
reach
backseat
a-
engineer him.
I'll reach a hand out for the hammer and say, if we're fucking doing this, let's get it done quick.
And as we enter the hall, I'm keeping an eye out for traps. I'm keeping an eye out for like dust, any footprints, any markings that somebody may
Sure.
have scratched into the wall, anything like that.
you three that are ascending the ramp, you're going quietly, so please give me a stealth check, all three of you.
Oh, I wish I had my boots. Come on, don't fuck me. Don't fuck me. Ooh, nat 20 plus
I have decent stealth ones.
5.
Natural 20!
That's hysterical. We both got 25. But I
Nice.
Okay, well, it makes my 19 not look as good, but it's still pretty good.
I'm sorry, 26 because I have a plus 6.
Oh, there you go.
Ren, roll me a perception check as well.
12.
Well, perfect. So, you begin to ascend this large ramp. It's kind of steep. Halfway up, you kind of slide in some of the dust and dirt that's on the ground. Redrick, but quickly begin to follow up with the rest of your group. Ren, you do notice it's pretty obvious that inset in the ground here are two grooves, about a good 6 or 7 inches in width, that run down the side, both. Excuse me, the middle of the ramp, but there's two of them, almost like a large, like cart or something, like a mine cart would find its wheels in it, and it would be able to move up and down this ramp.
Okay.
Continue
Check that
you continue your ascent. It takes you a little bit as you're moving slower, to get to the top. We can see a long hallway that kind of stands, a lot less in width now. It's only about 15, 20 feet. You can see about 30 or so feet ahead of you the two cutouts where Falcon kind of described. You're seeing the two doors on both sides. At the end of the hallway, probably another 60 feet, you see a large wooden door. Two glowing torches above it. Old, weathered. The
The
handles
grooves
themselves.
continue up here.
What was that?
Sorry, did the grooves
do,
continue?
yes. They continue to the edge of the doorway.
Well, this looks awful.
Very ominous looking. The light here is lit nothing but the red and orange and yellow colors of the torches, kind of on this cold, dark stone around all of you.
I will keep creeping forward until I get to the door on the left. And then
As
I
you
want
begin
to
to step, you swear you hear a ting, ting.
furries. Is that not just the hammer from behind us?
You're not sure. Roll me another
Yes.
perception.
You okay?
Oh boy.
Do you hear that? I'll just hold up a hand. Listen.
Do we hear that?
One of you two can roll me a perception check, whichever.
I got
Yeah,
14.
you can do it.
Okay, I'll do it. Ooh, that's a 5.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Oh.
What did you roll, Ren? Apologies.
14.
Okay.
14. Yeah.
You can hear them working, kind of discussing things behind you. You can hear the voices of your party. You can hear them ting, 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 like Isaiah, and then you'll hear a ting, ting, like he's trying a little bit harder. This seems more distant. The rest of you do hear it after Ren points it out. It's almost like in the distance. Ting, ting.
I hate
And you
this.
almost hear the sound of something. Like something is on a pulley or something like that.
Looking back towards the doors, do they seem like they're moving? The doors that we came through?
You look back. No? Still propped open, the Centurion kind of laying in the middle of it, down the large ramp. You're
And the door in front of us?
like the scraping of metal.
A gesture to the
I'm
ground,
gonna,
like, well, rails, noises, it's a mine, right?
I'm gonna cast
that not where we are?
keep light on my pistol so that we have a lot of light in the area because I don't want anything creeping in the shadows.
Should be an abandoned mine, I say really quietly. And if I creep forward a little bit more, does it seem like it's coming from beyond the wooden door?
What are the rest of you doing at this point?
Oh, interesting question.
I am probably kind of keeping an eye out, looking at the two doors on the left and the right, see if there anything odd about them. Basically, kind of following Ren, as she is the one who is better at detecting traps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely sit back a bit and just watch her go up to the door. I'm not really too afraid, though. This just seems like a mine.
All right. We'll get back to you guys. The other three. You're just helping Isaiah as best as you can.
Yeah.
In which way are you trying to help? Isaiah, what's your goal, essentially?
He saw what looked almost like a heart of the thing. It seemed centrally located. It seemed connected to a lot of things, but also potentially free materials. So he's going to try and, with Calder's help swinging the hammer, peel off the 2 plates that were welded, or cut them off, peel them off, however you can in the joints and everything, to get those plates to the side and to access whatever that
Okay.
brass orb was.
Perfect. So, roll me another strength check with proficiency with advantage.
18.
What was yours? Oh, you just rolled with advantage. Did you roll with advantage, or did you both roll?
Oh, I rolled with advantage. I thought I was.
That's fine. That's fine. It was both of you. So with an 18, Calder, eventually you take the chisel, you tell Isaiah to hold it, and he kind of places it up against one of the plates, and you jam your sword in next to it, and you begin to pry. And you, one of the plates and snaps, and it kind of folds almost, it rolls on itself. As it does, you can now see there's a good sizable hole in this thing now. The plate kind of snapping, the weld is snapping and kind of causing the plate to bend upward. So you can see now the intricacy of these gears. Hundreds and hundreds of gears, some larger, some smaller, all made of some sort of silvery metallic metal. More pristine than the outside interior of this thing, or exterior of this thing's armor. Still kind of have the shine to the age of the metal. Hundreds of gears, some even small as a watch gear. You begin to find, Isaiah, as you're just kind of perusing and looking through this thing, wondering how eventually you're going to be able to reach the core of this construct here.
The interior is silvery metal.
Yes.
Is it similar to Ook's skeleton?
In some ways, but this seems more pristine. Almost if you would polish steel to its very shiny state. This seems like beautifully polished steel. It's easily recognizable.
Yeah. I don't know that this was all made at the same time. Oh well, still gotta get deeper. Actually, Velkin, you mentioned heating it up. Is that expensive for you to do, or can you just...
I have a couple of options. I can try it just with holding a firebolt, and if that's not hot enough, I can expend the charge from the gloves. It's really not a big deal.
Let's hold off on that. I don't want to... I mean, it's kind of pretty at the moment. I don't want to really, like, burn it. Never mind.
Okay.
I had a thing I was thinking about, but I didn't plan for this today. Okay.
Falcon's just gonna sit on the ground and start filing her nails because she's not much right now.
While you're here, do you know any stories about something like this?
Big mechanical.
I mean, you've been alive a long time.
I don't know if I should take offense to that, but let me look. And she'll kind of look it over, analyzing the features, trying to think back and anything she's read, seen in books that might match the build, the architecture of it. Any idea if like these were like used as guards of some sort for any?
Roll me a history check.
Okay. Okie dokie. What do I have in history? An 8. Okay, pike dice. Let's go. Pike dice failed me. 5 plus 8.
Okay. So you've heard of different types of constructs being constructed by dwarves, by humans, by elves, all sorts of different things. They're used for all sorts of different reasons. Guards. Some are used as warriors, like you probably assume this one was, at one point, but it doesn't resemble anything that like strikes your memory in a way that the features or the armor or anything like that. But you've heard of things being constructed similarly.
She she looks at it for a bit and is quiet while you guys kind of work on what you guys are doing, and eventually she like speaks up and says, "Yeah, I got nothing. I don't really know much about it. I know that they like they were made for a multitude of purposes, but other than that, nothing's really striking my memory. Sorry that my age let you down."
Every year is a successful fight against death, so congratulations on winning.
You know, be dig it out a couple hundred years, yeah.
Wait, didn't we have somebody who'd been here before?
Mizo.
Mizo.
Little fucker with the spear.
What?
He's been here the entire time.
Mizo, please don't scare me like that.
He's just sitting on top of the centurion, and every once in a while he goes around and peeks his head inside the thing's skull. Seems to be playing with it. It's bored.
Did you see any of these before?
Mizo's never been here before.
You don't remember Isaiah?
You see him clutching heavily to the crystal that he got out of the chandelier.
Oh, alright. Well, I guess nothing for it but to do it there. Still no word from the others. They should be doing fine, I guess.
Now, how much do you want to do here?
There's a heart. There's a thing that looked like it powered it. I need something to do. So this is something I can do.
Well, as you do that, keep in mind the world's ending. And I get up and I start pacing back and forth in front of the door, looking anxious as fuck.
Oh, sorry, you go.
No, yeah. So I guess just more of a thing for me. How relative to like my size, how big is its head?
How tall do you stand?
I stand at 7'3".
Um,
Tall as fuck.
you're tall. Comparatively, this thing, I mean, it's probably 4 to 5 feet just in length of pure steel and bronze.
The head?
Yeah, so it's
Damn.
like you would have to carry it, or one or two of you would have to carry it.
I don't think I can make you a suit of armor
Out of the question.
You could always try.
Just the first suit of armor.
Was Egg doing anything else, Liam, before I go on?
No. Sorry, that was the question. I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah. So, once Falcon, like, she can't really help out much now. She'll go sit by like one of the walls. And she's watching Calder pace, and just to be a shithead, she's gonna summon these little like fire bolts, but like really really tiny, and like start like flicking them towards like his feet as he's walking back and forth.
He's gonna fucking ignore it.
Yeah,
He just shoots you an irritated look. That's it.
she keeps doing it. Just lighten up.
Isaiah, what's the plan here?
So he's still. We got an opening. Is that enough to actually access the innards and see about?
Yeah, I would say so. You could probably it was going to take some work to cut through to the heart of all this metal, but
He's also got like his tinker's tool, so anything that he can take apart instead of destroying. You know, if they're anything that's held together by screws or bolts.
Okay. So that is going to take a little bit more intricacy. Just roll me. Go ahead and you actually roll me a roll with your tinker's tools. So use intelligence.
Alrighty.
It's like
Oh, man.
keenly deciding where you're going to pull these gears apart to cleanly remove them.
One more level for expertise in that. 17.
17. Okay. It will take you some time. It'd probably take you another, to your judgment, 45 minutes to just get to the center. If you want to intricately remove piece by piece the gears and some of the metal without destroying this thing. There are points that you're going to reach wherever you have to actually break some of the pieces just to be able to access what you're looking for. We will get back to the rest of you as Isaiah begins to do that. The three of you, Ren, you were approaching the door.
I wanted to slowly approach to see if I can confirm if that's where the noise is coming from. But when I get to the door on the left and the right, I kind of want to pause and check those out really quick.
Okay. You begin to approach. Just hearing these odd miscellaneous noises, like your pal Redrick said, of a mine, the tinging of metal on metal, the rearing of gears, things moving on like a pulley. Every once in a while, though, as you get to the doors and you stop, you hear, but it seemed distant, like a moan.
That.
That's what makes
yeah,
you
I'm just-
stop at the doors. You already had a plan to stop at the doors, but as you get to the doorways themselves, you hear this coming from the direction of the large door.
Okay. I'm going to say, yeah, we're definitely going to get the others before we go through that thing.
It's fair. Yeah. Let's check out these first two.
Yeah, I'm going to check the left door I'm going to investigate it, look for traps, anything.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Okay. Castus, give me a hand.
I'll help you out.
They were both 12. So plus investigation, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. No traps, but the door is much smaller. The entryway kind of inset within the wall here. The door is much smaller, made of the same kind of odd rotted wood. The wood itself discolored, seeming age, has kind of taken to this door. It has one ring handle that seems that would be the way you open it. Something odd, though, you do discover around the handle, kind of streaking down below it, dried blood, kind of with this streak just below the ringed handle.
Okay.
Well,
I think
while
that's enough
those
scouting
two-
on our own.
I was gonna say while those two are looking at that door, I'll go to the one on the other side.
Okay, you're gonna do the same
room's
thing?
only like 15 feet wide, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then
Investigation
I'll do
check.
the same thing.
Once I see that, I'm going to talk back to Velkin and Isaiah and just say, all right, so there are some noises coming from beyond that door that shouldn't really be there. They sound pretty creepy. And on this door on the left, there is a bloody finger drag. So we're not going to go any farther until you guys join.
I was really expecting to fail this, but that's a nat 20 for a 21.
Hey.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's not.
So this this door is almost identical to the one Ren is standing next to on the opposite side of the hall. Same ringed iron handle, except interestingly enough, on the ground, the grooves that were set into the ground on the ramp actually lead eventually to this door that you stand in front of. Well, I shouldn't say directly leads. There is an off track that kind of turns towards your door specifically and then leads forward towards the large door at the end. That's the difference between the door you stand in front of, that Ren stands in front of. There is no track that leads to Ren's door.
Gotcha. So it kind of leads like into this and then back out. And
Yes.
Okay. Does it sound like we can tell the noises are coming from the other door, right?
Yes.
The big one at the end of the hall.
Yes.
I kind of just want to creak it open a bit and peek in.
Which one? The
one I'm
large door or the
standing
one
at.
you
The one I'm
stand in front
standing
of?
at. The one I'm standing at.
Okay. You shake it. You pull the door and it's locked.
Okay.
Redrick, what are you doing?
Seeing what's going on in this room.
How does the blood look?
How does it look?
Yeah,
You roll a 20 on investigation.
I did.
It's almost black. And you kind of get down to it without touching it. You could tell if you would touch it, it would turn to probably just dust. But it almost seems like it's so old that it's sunken into the wood. It's part of the door itself now. Very deep and dark.
Can I
You
check
can
to see
barely
if the
tell
door?
it's blood at this point.
No, I'm not gonna. Can I check if the door is locked or not? The one with the bloody handprint, fingerprints.
Sure.
Give them.
It jiggles open.
Of course, I touch it and opens.
Ren just looks up at you.
Well, the other one wasn't opening. I thought this one might be locked too.
You know what they say about assumptions.
Well, I mean, the door is open now. I'm gonna take my pistol. Just kind of.
No light. No light. I can see. Hang on.
Okay.
And I'll just take
I
a
can see
peek.
too. So I cast. I dispel my my light and just kind of peek in with my dark vision.
Okay. Give me perception checks.
Okay, perception
You
is.
see anything in
Ooh,
there?
that's
Turn that light back on.
17.
That would be a perception. That's an 18.
1 second.
Hand grabs you.
Grabs you.
While you guys are looking around, after what Ren said in their hair, Isaiah will go over to look over at Calder and be like, they could probably use a hand if you want to take Ook and go make sure they're all right.
That's not concerningly vague.
Yeah. Hearing that explanation, Vulcan will
Pardon?
she's kind of like standing up and she says, yeah, something about noises, creepy noises, bloody handprints, and spooky stuff. Yeah, we should probably go join them.
You're staying here?
I got something to
Stay
do,
with
but-
him.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, Vulcan's gonna go with Calder. We got Mizo.
God damn it.
Don't kill each other while we're going.
Hey, I don't remember him except for the stairs, so
Okay.
I'm sure we've got a great history at the moment.
Yeah.
The baseline, it just.
Kind of comedy to see the old man struggle.
Music probably just wiggle straight to the heart.
Mizo makes one more joke about Isaiah, and Ook just stands up behind him, gets very, very tall over his head.
Kind of shrinks down for a moment, looks up with him with a side eye.
Oh, fuck, he's got the crystal again.
He does.
No, I do.
Anyway.
You gave it to Mizo so he could undo
Oh,
the door.
no. We gave it to Mizo to show what he was talking about, and then Calder
Correct.
took it
Okay.
back. And
No,
Mizo gave it back to me, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
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 Whatever
Check the
happens.
tapes. Check the
Absolutely.
tapes.
I'll have to check the
Check
tapes.
the footage.
So the rest
Anyway.
of you continue on and leave Mizo and Isaiah to work on the.
I guess so.
Centurion.
Egg ball, is Egg coming or are you staying?
I was gonna say, if you guys are gonna go, do I trust Mizo?
Good question.
You,
think
that's
it
a
should
you
be easy to
question.
answer.
I mean,
I
I
think-
don't trust most people except for dragons.
I don't trust Mizo. I just believe that Isaiah and Ook can take him.
If it comes down to it.
You can try.
Mizo's the BB.
Yay.
Egg's gonna stay.
So, what were the perception checks?
8. It was 18.
17.
I can't see shit.
As you both look inside, it is dark, so your vision can only extend to the end of the room. But to make out any features, you would probably have to actually go in. But what you can make out is hanging from the ceiling in front of you. You see these large chains, these manacles at the end. You can see a gibbet. You guys know what a gibbet is?
No.
A gibbet is a cage that they used to hang pirates in from
Yeah.
the sides of
Gotcha,
forts and
okay.
castles. Those are gibbets. These large metal cages. You see a dwarven skeleton with its feet hanging out the side of one of them. You can see it small in stature, kind of laying there lifeless. besides that, you can see the ceiling is covered in all sorts of different chains and manacles and small tools. But with just looking through this small crack, that's about all you can see.
Fucking gruesome.
Is it a prison in there?
I'm pretty sure it's a torture chamber.
It's just I kind of put my pistol against the handle. Just kind of let's just close that up. I can pull the door closed.
What'd you see on the other door, Red?
Locked.
Oh,
It's locked.
I can take care of that.
Well, I can do that too. You go ahead. I'll keep an eye out for the others.
Okay. I will
You're
go
gonna
ahead
try
and
to pick the lock. So, connecting the ringed handle that is part of this door, there is a small keyhole. It's round in stature. You can go ahead and give me a. Do you have thieves' tools? Are you proficient with thieves? Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead and try to pick the lock.
Okay. Okay, so it's my proficiency bonus plus my dex.
Dexterity, yes.
Okay, so 18.
18.
And I will use a Cynac if I need to.
Okay. Takes you a little bit. What the hell is this door? Until all of a sudden you just feel something crumble. You pull your lockpicks out. They're still intact. But it seems like whatever mechanism that was holding this door closed it was so rusted and old that it just kind of collapsed. As you pull your lockpick out, it kind of crumbles onto the floor in front of you. This rusted metal in these different pieces. You kind of give the handle a try. It's unlocked. It doesn't even seem latched at this point.
Okay, I'll wait until the others come up and then take a peek.
The rest of you eventually, after a few minutes walking up the ramp, catch up with your party.
Okay.
Welcome to our hallway. That door's awful, and we're about to check this door.
Great.
It will likely also be awful.
Love that.
Hopefully not that awful. Yeah, I'll go ahead and peek through the door now.
Okay. Are you just peeking? You just cracking it open and taking a look?
Yeah, I'm gonna crack it open first, and then if there's no immediate danger, I'll open it wider.
Okay. So you give me a perception check.
Just as a note, I will have dispelled my light when we start walking on.
30-20.
30-20. Inside, just through the small crack, you can see a large pile of what looks like metal scraps and two large carts. Two of the carts kind of set on both sides of the room, one farther and one closer to you on the right, because you're kind of peeking through and looking. The angle that you can see is to the right. In between the two large carts, you can see this shelf full of what looks like large hammers hanging on the rack next to one another. On this large iron rack. The hammer is probably sitting only about 2 or 3 feet in length, but the head on them is massive. And the ends, they have protruding spikes on one end, a flat end on the other. It's like a large, just imagine Mjolnir, like Thor's hammer.
Isaiah might be interested in that.
Anything good?
I'll open the door wider. Does it appear to just be a room?
It just seems to be a room with what you see in front of you.
Maybe it's metal scraps, bunch of hammers, like an armory or a storeroom, right across from the torture chamber.
Grab one of those for Isaiah, the nastiest looking one. Maybe he'll want to play with it.
Not sure if I can lift one of those. They look pretty heavy.
So you open the door.
Yeah, I open the door.
Ting, 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 ting. As you do, the latching mechanism actually falls out from inside of the door and hits the ground. This large metal, what looks like a rod that held the door shut, pulling out of the door and hitting the ground and kind of falling into the room. Ting, 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 ting. Kind of stop and open the door a little bit wider. Inside, you can see just from standing in front of the door, it's a small room, probably about 10 or so feet in both directions. There's all sorts of different, what looks like pieces of armor. Kind of. There's
Kind of.
there's like mechanical looking arms and legs and these large chest and carapace pieces that kind of come up with a hood, with like a hood helm that kind of sits open at the top. The thing sits headless. One sitting in the middle, hanging from these chains that kind of keep it suspended in the middle of the air. Just a suit of oddly looking armor, but as you kind of step into the room, you notice that it's not really armor. Seems to be a construct of some sort, this thing being kind of put together. The arm is made of odd steel and mechanical wiring like you've never seen before. The pieces around you are scattered all around the room. Large hands and arms actually connected to the hammers that you see hanging to the wall. The other hand, this massive claw that sits at the end. There's no head or anything in the piece of the construct or anything. The helmet kind of sits back and just kind of leaves this dark gap. That's pretty much all you can find right now without actually searching around the room. Was a little bit better, more of an investigation.
They were making more clockwork people.
Part
Yeah.
of me wants to tell Isaiah for
Yeah,
his
I don't-
knowledge, but then part of me doesn't because I don't think we'll ever leave here.
Yeah, I don't think we
Can
need to
I-
encourage that right now.
I look for maybe like schematics that would be lying around that I could grab to give to Isaiah at a future date.
So you're actually going into the room?
Yes, I'm going to the room.
As you go in, Red's gonna take a step back, be like, "Be super careful. We don't know how that thing works."
I'm keeping my distance from it, but I'm kind of giving the room a look over for any sort of paperwork.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, you were doing pretty good. Let's try you. God damn it. That's a 3.
A 3.
Oh,
Or not a-
perception?
sorry, it's an investigation. I apologize.
That's even worse. Yeah, that's a 3.
Who'd we lose?
Okay.
We lost
Liam.
He's
Oh,
back.
Liam.
With a 3.
I
I
can't.
thought it
I
was
can't see shit.
The room is a complete disheveled mess. There are pieces of these suits everywhere. You're almost have to kick through them to get around. You can tell they're made of this odd-looking steel, dark in coloration. Odd, but it's too dark to be able to see in here. Even with your light, you kind of get lost within the mess.
Okay.
There is a large desk in the opposite side of the room that is just covered in all sorts of papers and schematics. You're not too sure how the hell to read any of them, but there are like hundreds of pieces of paper kind of spread all over the desk and onto the floor that kind of scatter in front of you. The wall itself has pins of these different drawings of these suits of armor that seem to be dwarven constructs. They seem to be schematics of dwarves, but in these suits of armor. You see the helm actually down. It looks like a dwarven knight of sorts with a hammer for a hand and a claw on the other.
Okay.
That's pretty much all you can see.
Basically, whatever I can see, something that seems like Isaiah might be to use for any sort of ideas or anything like that. I will grab those papers, not bothering to know if they're actually of any use, but I'll grab those and kind of toss them into my pack.
So we got awful door, building room. Is there any other way to actually go?
Speaking
The
of
large
the
door at the
third
end.
door, as soon as I hear that like loud clanging, can I just like take a step towards that door and just listen to see if I hear our friend coming?
Sure.
Or making
Perception
any more
check.
noises? All right. Oh, not 19 for a 24? 24. No, 23. I lied.
You put your ear up against the door and you try to listen. The zombie and sounds have disappeared. It just seems like emptiness behind the door.
Well, I think our friend might be onto us.
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
I mean, I don't want to go through the awful door, but there could be some information about what's going on in this place.
In where?
Yeah. The torture
The terrible
room.
door.
Or are you
Torture
talking about the
room.
creepy door?
I'm talking about the torture room. I kind of push it open again with my pistol, and kind of just the door swings all the way open so we can look into it.
Okay. You throw the door open. Like I said before, the ceiling is covered and all sorts of chains that kind of loop around one another and manacles hanging from the ceiling. These gibbets kind of surrounding the entirety of the room. The room is circular in structure. In the center, you see one large metal slab that kind of sits on a pedestal, leaning at an angle. You can see the remnants of old metal chains and straps kind of laying on the floor against this slab, that kind of hang off the slab. You see that same. Actually, give me a investigation check.
Oh, come on. Okay, this you screwed me over. Let's try this dice. Come on. Damn it! Oh, that's a dirty one.
A dirty one. The same thing that you see, but it's more gruesome. So on the ground, you can see this dark stain that leads towards a grate in the floor. Also, which is the most recognizable thing in the room, on your far left, you just see a mound. Standing probably about 5 or 6 feet tall. It kind of spreads out towards this large slab of bones.
Ooh.
Dwarven
Nice.
skeletons piled up in a mound. All headless.
I was wrong. This room is terrible. I'm gonna close the door
What the
again.
fuck were they doing?
Were
Wait,
they
but while he's
attaching-
closing the door, I'm gonna
Were
peek
they-
in. Is there any sort of desk in this room?
Give me a perception check.
Wait, were they attaching heads to those?
I don't know.
16.
There is. It's actually a small desk in the corner. You have to go into the room and past everything. You can see it.
Oh, you
It's
want to go in
probably
the
only
room now, don't you?
Yeah.
a 4-foot desk that
Well-
sits. It kind of has this large wall or large stand that kind of sits up against the wall there.
We have to see if we can figure out what they were doing.
Yeah.
Do we?
Kinda, yeah. The more information, the better. Might give us some idea of what the fuck we're
Well,
going up against.
I mean, maybe they're doing some fucked up shit, but we gotta move.
Okay, well, tell you what.
yeah,
you
but
go
alright,
convince
go.
Isaiah to move, and I'll check this out.
Well, you're the one
Yeah,
connected
alright.
to him. I'd push you towards the desk and cast guidance. Hurry up.
I'm following because I don't want her in there by herself.
Someone turn a damn light on.
I will.
Lights. I
I'll,
got
I'll-
pistol lights.
Like the old guy in the corner. Someone turn it down
I am fucking 53 now.
I'm fucking blinded.
some dancing lights will go into the room and kind of light it
My
up.
pistol with light, so that's a cast 2.
Okay.
Now that
So,
it's
yeah.
later, does any of the blood seem fresher than like the
investigation
rest?
check.
Okay.
No, we probably should ask that question first.
14.
No, it all seems old.
Okay.
Even it's dried up towards the grate. You can see that it was obviously draining into the floor here. Blood covering. Now that the light is it's covered, this dark stain up the odd dark iron slab. That it seemed that they would tie their victims or experiments or whatever to this slab. Ren, you walk past it. Tools of all sorts kind of sitting around on the ground. Seeming like old rusted saws, clamps, and pries. Probably the tools that they would use to do whatever they were doing to the individuals here. Scattered to the ground. You walk up to the desk. Like I said, it's small, probably only standing 3 foot in width. Not even just about the same height as you. On it, you can see this immaculate metal tray. Silver. Bright as you shine the lights on it. The tray itself kind of inlaid with all these odd little designs that kind of it almost like if a butler would bring you a set of tea. See this old rotted wood handles on the sides of the tray. And on it you can see more meticulous tools. Scapulas, small little set of tweezers. All these sort of devices that an individual might use for, let's just say, medical purposes. But they're beautiful.
The tools, both the tray and the
And the
tools
tools.
themselves are like pristine.
Yes. Untouched by the weather in this room. The desk itself, black stone. There's no papers on the desk itself, but there are drawers. If you wanted to try opening them.
Yeah, I will try opening them. I will be mindful of traps.
You begin to open them. There's all sorts of these little journals and books stacked in each one of the drawers. Some of them bound with small wire to keep them together. Others tied by leather. Most of them black and leather bound on the fronts. Some scattered papers, but it seems like they're only additional pages to whatever whoever was writing in these things.
Can I grab one of the books, kind of look in the front cover?
Slap your hand away. I'm doing this.
I want to see see who wrote in it, because a lot of times, fine, okay,
I want to see if something wrote in it.
Okay, you do it. Ow.
Calder's just like rubbing his temples by the door.
And if Vulcan like leans up, it like pokes her head over like his shoulder and says, "Bring those books out when you're done. I'm running out of reading material."
Oh yeah, no, these are definitely coming with us, and I will start to carefully try to collect them. I'll open the first one and I'll hand another one to fucking Grabby McGrabberson over there.
I'm grabbing the tray.
Oh, I'm not touching that thing.
Okay. So you begin to open up the books and just kind of peruse.
I just kind of look. I just look at the one on top, just to get an idea of what the writing is.
Okay.
If I can read it.
You open it and it is Dwarven.
Okay.
But you do
Is there, like,
see
a name,
odd
maybe?
pictures. You begin to flip through and you see odd pictures of Dwarven physiology.
Ooh.
You're not too sure what the writing says, but you see pictures of, the classic Dwarven body and
Anatomical.
stature. Yes.
Okay, I'll start collecting all the journals. Just to put away and investigate later.
I'm going to take my pistol, kind of tap at the tray, kind of to move it and see if anything happens.
Nothing happens.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the tray.
You just pick up the whole tray?
Pick up the tray.
You just pick up the tray.
Okay.
Trying to
I'm
go
going
into a new field of work there, Castus.
Well, it's kind of interesting as to everything else looks like shit, but this is pretty nice. So this seems interesting.
As you turn around, you step on something and it goes crunches underneath your feet.
Oh.
Right on a femur.
Oh. I hate this place. I just gotta speed walk out of the room with the tray.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Is that all there is to the desk? Just the
Yes.
journals in the drawer? Okay.
There's
I'll collect all the journals
There's 3 journals in total.
3.
It's just
Okay.
bones. I don't know what's so uncomfortable about that.
Ugh.
Skeletons
I'm
should be on
sorry.
the inside.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to deal with that. Let alone step on one of them and break it. Ugh.
Poor
That's what
things have been through enough.
You should see some of the stuff in the Underdark. That's what
I
something used to
don't.
farm.
I
Prefer
really
not to.
don't.
I'll hand the journals to
I'm
Belkin.
gonna.
Oh, she'll take them and oh, you go.
Go ahead. Go. No, you go. Go.
Oh, okay. She'll take them. Put most of them in her bag, and whatever one looks like the most heavily used, she'll kind of skim through it, and see if she spots like a name, that she can read.
Give me an investigation check. And as you do, hold that number. We are going to go back to Isaiah. As their party members and Eggval, I guess, as your party members were investigating whatever they are doing up there, you are working tirelessly to try to intricately remove these gears, wires, and metal housings to get to the center. Eventually, you get to a point where you don't think you're going to be able to reach it. It's too far in there. It's too large of a creature. And you don't have a wide enough gap. You cut your way through and you can see that it's just about out of reach. You would need, another 3 feet of give. Then you kind of stop and you have to pull back for a moment.
It probably took at least like 15 tries of however many ways he could get out before he finally sat back. Hey,
Mhm.
Little shit. Not you. Sorry. Little shit.
Seems
How
just
many of
munching on
these-
one of his claws.
How many of these shinies would it take for you to go in there and get me something
In where?
in there? And he points into the hole he's made.
See him clamber over. Tink, tink, tink.
All of them.
All of these little shinies that I just took out of it.
All of them.
And you'll give it to me afterwards. No argument.
What are we looking for?
There's an orb, a sphere, a big brass ball that's connected to everything.
Mm.
And that's mine. And these are yours.
Doesn't seem very fair trade. Big
These
brass
are a
ball
lot
for
more.
tiny brass gear.
A lot of tiny brass gears.
Give me a persuasion check.
He's got proficiency. He does. -1 charisma, but he's got proficiency.
Let's go.
Holy crap! That's actually.
Must have been a good roll.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
Natural
Wow.
20.
For a total of 20.
Your relationship with Mizo has improved drastically.
All I had to do was forget he existed.
It's that easy.
I will do it, but not for those stinky gears. Only for one promise.
What promise?
You take out the red man, and you tell him to give Mizo Shiny back. That's what Mizo Shiny he wants.
Fuck, they've said it a couple of times. Sorry, I got distracted. Tall friend.
Red man, yes.
No, not you. Tall friend who's still here.
Oh, big baby man.
Yes. Fred? No, not Fred. Egg, that's it. Egg.
Yes.
What was the shiny thing the male dark one took?
Oh, yeah. So it was like a stone that it's I guess it does magic stuff. It worked on like the door, I think, and I think it also did something to Ook at one point too.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's magical. It's
Shut
weird.
big monkey off. When Mizo tried to rob all of you a long time ago.
Hindsight probably shouldn't have said anything of that.
Mizo doesn't go get orb.
And he's looking at Egg. Is there some reason we're not giving it to him?
Well, it's supposed to be like insurance. Of you help us get to gate, and then you'll get the stone back.
Then
Something
it
like
seems like you've already got a promise you're getting it back.
Mizo no trust big red man. Mizo trusts you. Mizo like big ape guy.
Thank you. I worked hard on it. I promise I will try, and if this is the deal we made, I promise we will hold to it.
Mizo's tools.
These are important. I better. It's fine. Here.
He snatches them out of your hands quickly. It begins to wiggle. His little dragon-like feet kicking in the air as it begins to skitter on in. And all you hear is...
Tick, 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 tick. Ah! Shut!
And he's just going to be working. What are the rest of you doing? Okay, what was your role? Sorry, Belkin.
I was muted, and I was muted in 2 places, so that's why I
Mm,
panicked for a second. I got 11 on the dice, plus 8 for 19.
okay, 19. A name. Can you read Dwarven?
No, but if not, I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages to be able to.
You
Let
would
me
have
see.
to do that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't know Dwarven, so I will cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. So are you looking specifically for just the name, or are you continuing? Are you looking for other things as well? I should ask.
Because
There's
she
a
cast,
lot of text in a lot of these books, so if you're looking for just a name, are you looking for the author?
because she cast the spell, she's gonna focus on looking for the author, but she's going to skim the text to see if there's anything that like triggers any recognition or anything like that. And as she casts it, the anybody who's like looking over it would watch as the dwarven symbols kind of begin to shift on the page until it's undercommon, which is her preferred language, so she'll read it that way.
Okay, awesome. Let me look up his name really quickly. Pull this up here. Yeah. Okay. The first thing that you find is whenever you open the cover of the book, you can see an initial sentence. It says "belongs to," and the name that you get is Thymond Goldbringer. Thimmand, and then Goldbringer, the last name, all written in Dwarvish. Reviewed by Jadron Underview. Jadron. Underview. Underview.
Do either of those names ring any bells?
Roll me a history check.
Is 16 on the dice plus 8.
Okay. That's 24. Neither one of these names ring a bell. You're not too sure who these characters are. But the notes in the book that you were handed, which one do you have? Do you have all three?
Yeah, I gave her
Here's
all
all
of them.
three. Okay. So the first one, the one about dwarven physiology, is just in a general sense, discussing different ways to alter a dwarven body by removing some of its natural parts and replacing it with mechanical parts.
I had a feeling this was what this was about.
That was the first one. The second one, and it discusses, I mean, if you want to get into the nitty gritty details, you can. But essentially, it discusses how they were going to do this while keeping the, how do I say this? The altered dwarf in a conscious living state after the replacement is had. And as you get farther and farther in, you begin to see multiple different efforts of this Goldbringer attempting and failing many times on different subjects to do so. The next tome is a continuation of this, but you can see that he's begun to have some success. But the patients endure so much torture and pain while they are actually beginning to get limbs and things replaced that they have to be, what he says, exterminated out of the discomfort of the patients themselves. So they eventually begins to, you can see his progress. He begins to attach these limbs to his patients, to the point wherever they are still conscious and breathing and living, but unfortunately, it seems like it causes too much pain and harm to be an actual physical living being with these alterations. As you get towards the end of that tome, you begin to see that this Goldbringer, has begun to do more research on the dwarven psyche, brain, and the physiology of the neurological pathways of how the brain connects to the spine and runs throughout the nervous system, etc., and etc. Specifically, the brain itself. The last tome seems to be incomplete. As you see, we have found some success. Jadrin and I have worked tirelessly to get this project complete. Even though they have forsaken us, we will continue to prosper and build our great hall. Those that who left will rue the day they have abandoned us here. Our army grows. And that's all it says. Then you begin to see schematics. Schematics of these dwarves in these large suits of armor that you see in the room across from you. The heads of the dwarves all seemingly attached somehow to the suit of armor that you see hung. Pretty much these are just schematics of different attachments and different ways that these two were able to craft and develop these dwarven, what seems like half mechanical, half dwarven warriors. Not only warriors, but it seems like they began to develop plans of all sorts of different types. Workers, miners, those that would work the forge. A whole dwarven society of these type of mechanical mismatch of dwarves and gears. That's about it.
Okay.
They seem to be just as progress of this dwarven engineers doing.
Okay. Yeah, Belkin's just kind of leaning against the doorframe, reading for a bit, skimming. You watch the eyes are flickering back and forth super quick as she kind of like ingests all this information, and she reads all of this with the straightest face, and she's just intaking all this information, and she says, you hear her kind of hum and say, that's kind of where I thought this was going, and just keep reading and stuff like that, and eventually she closes the last one and she says, some people in the Underdark would really like to read this. It's pretty fucked up.
You want to share with the class?
Do you want to know? That's the question.
Unfortunately, I do.
Well, essentially, they are trying to create hybrids in a way. Half mechanical, half woven creatures. But it seems that they had some success, but for the most part, a lot of the test subjects died because of pain and torture and, all that fun stuff.
Gruesome. You said some success?
Yes, so their goal was to keep the subjects in a alive state while performing these surgeries, and though they would often die afterwards and not be able to continue living because of the pain that they endured throughout. And this one, and she holds up the last one that she was reading, is unfinished, but it seems like they had big plans for this whole society, not just warriors, but workers and everything. They seemed like they were abandoned. They seemed very salty about it. And then Kate can't remember, but she'd give you guys the names, and she'd say they don't ring a bell. But that is essentially what was happening between here, and she points across the hallway to the other room.
About what we thought.
That's
Ren's
exactly
gonna
what
look
we
up.
thought.
Ren's gonna look up at the big door and say, "Any chance those things are still here, and that's what we're hearing?"
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to try the other passage?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Because my idea is, if they're not entirely human, what is their lifespan? How long have they been down here?
There was definitely a moan, and I don't like that we can't hear anything beyond the door since we made noise. So, other passage.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll hold on to these. When we have more time, I'll do a more in-depth read into them. Maybe when Isaiah actually has his head. Maybe that's not the right thing to say right now. You know what I mean. When his mind is about.
I feel like you did that on purpose.
That is awful as I'm shoving the tray with the tools into my bag.
It's,
He just
it's
shudders at that.
yeah, it's I'll bring it up with him eventually, but maybe we should just keep quiet about this right now. Or again, I don't think we'll be moving from here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And she's gonna fold all the books away into her bag.
Now,
As we
the door at
start-
the end, is it like is it just one door? Or is it like split with the two doors? Is it just the one door?
It is one door, but it would be split. You would have to pull it open like towards you.
Hey, Coulter, want to help me with something? And I want to grab some chains from one room and tie them, kind of bind them around the doors, so that if someone tries to push open or pull them open, they won't open.
Sure.
It'll take
I
you
wanna
some
do that.
time, but you're able to do so. After some time, you have to gather the chains from the top of the ceiling, begin to bring them down from the around. You begin to tie them along or around the handles. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
It'll take some time. In the meantime, Mizo, working tirelessly. Natural 20. Here we go.
Let's go, Mizo.
You just see. You can see he's scarred and bloody all over his arms, as he probably didn't care, ripping through all the wires in the metal. You can see just bloody, and you see his head pop up underneath it.
Take this! Take it!
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Take it.
You see him clamber out. You see he's covered in all this like oil and grease, covered in black soot and stuff.
Ugh.
He tries to wipe it off and just spreads it all over his face. That thing that you carry
Yeah.
is heavy. 60, 70 pounds, where you have to hold it with almost both of your hands. It is this round sphere, like I said. It seems to be decorated with all of these small little lines that carve in small arcs in all sorts of different directions. Inside the metal itself, just this bronze casing. Like I said, two large metal bands go around the top of it and around the side of the globe. You can see where Mizo had cut free the four connections. They're kind of sliced and broken in some different directions.
Oh, thank you. Are you okay? You look a little rough.
I'm fine. Dirty, but fine. What is that thing? Too heavy for me to carry all the time. Shiny, but too heavy.
It is. It's, well, let's find out. Can I see any way to? Oh, can I tell if it's a casing or if it's like a ball bearing? That's just a sphere, and that's it. Tap on it. Does it sound hollow?
Give me an investigation check. And when you tap on it, it doesn't. It's thick. Ting, 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 ting.
Oh yeah. Man, where were these rolls the rest of your life, Isaiah? Investigation 22.
22. You don't see any welds like you did see the armor. And you also don't see really any way that this thing even would open without actually trying to physically force it open. There's no latches, there's no seals. It seems like these metal bands that go around the edge of this bronze casing. So imagine a globe with two large metal bands. And inside the small little sections, there are these small inlaid lines that kind of arch in different directions, connecting to the two large bands.
Do any of the pieces move? The bands or the lines?
Try. None of it moves.
What the fuck is this thing? Look back in the hole Miso got out of. Can I figure out what it was connected to?
Make an investigation check.
The more I roll, the more likely the one is to come. not a 1, but 13.
13. Not really. It just seems like there's metal connections that Mizo seemed to have cut and broke.
I'm gonna need. All right. Thank you. I'll make sure you get your stone back when we're done.
Thank you.
Anything else interesting while you're there?
Well, that was in there.
Yes, that's true.
A bunch of pokies and sharpies. Other than that, slicky oil stuff that made me stink.
Oh,
Yeah.
Egg's just gonna like reach into his pack. He's just gonna pull out a spare pair of pants and just hand it toward him. Use it to, you know.
He just rips it all up, and just begins to wipe himself off with it.
That works too. Okay.
If he gets rid of one of the rags, we're gonna take it. Is it something special, or is it just like oil?
You take it off. It seems to be some sort of lubrication, like an oil lubricant. Yeah.
Well, I guess this thing wasn't quite as interesting as I thought. Ook, come here. I'm gonna try and put the orb into like a backpack if I have to move a bunch of stuff out, just
Sure.
on Ook's back so he's carrying it.
You see him kind of adjust to the weight.
If I figure out something special for that, I'm gonna. Don't worry, buddy. Egg, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Why are you here?
Oh. Well, I
like-
guess-
Not here this moment, but it's bad here.
you mean like down here?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I kind of picked that up.
Why are you here?
Like with the party doing this?
Sure.
I don't really know. I mean, then I guess I never really thought I would be going so much further than where I wanted. But I guess this just seems more important at the moment, you know? It's kind of hard for me to do what I want to do if there's not really going to be much to do. If this is as big and as bad as it seems it is. You know?
And do you think these people can stop it?
I think we can, yeah. I mean, I don't really know anybody else who's coming down here.
And it's worth trying.
You said worth trying?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I feel like anything in some way is worth trying. But gotta I mean, if we have the chance to, we might as well not. Or I mean, we might as well try. Sorry. Common's weird.
No doubt about that. And you, little friend,
What?
you really think shinies are worth all this shit in this place?
Absolutely.
What would you do with them?
Maybe I would collect them, keep them. Give them to Protector. Thank you for saving Mizo's life.
go through all of this literal hell just to say thank you to someone?
Yes. And to collect shinies.
Well,
Honestly, I really can't remember. I just remember coming down here the first time and wanting shinies really bad. But so whenever you asked me the question, I felt like I had to say something more important than Big Baby Man there. So, yes, first thing I would do with shinies is give them Protector to say thank you.
that's actually nice of you.
Yeah, that's actually a good reason. I like that reason.
Thank you. See, these are not bad. I kill, steal, but I say thank you sometimes.
As long as you're trying.
Hmm.
Can't really blame you for that.
I mean, I think there's some disconnects in all of that. But do you know why I'm here?
Are you asking me?
No, Egg.
Well, I mean, at
I
least
don't know
while we're
why any
here.
of you are here. You dragged Muzo into this. All I wanted was my shiny back.
Well,
You all are crazy as hell.
what? Well, at least for having to be down here, you're kind of you're here for the same reason as I am, and the rest of the party are.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like me.
I think you are one of the people who were kind of on the front of wanting to do this.
Can Isaiah try and remember all the things he's forgotten?
Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
You feel the warmth in your pocket? Look at it, I was like, oh wait, shit, I have that.
You're gonna be all out of bardic inspirations
So
by the time it actually
inspiring.
matters. For
Yeah, I think these work. I think these are worth it.
very. Oh wow! Yes, thank you. That cookie was freaking delicious.
A gentle thigh caress.
Remember.
I hate that negative one. Shit.
Remember.
With an 8 on the inspiration, that's a total of 11.
Oh,
It evens out.
Yes.
Oh man.
You try to think back. Can't. No negative effects. Just can't remember.
I'll keep thinking about it. I'm sure there must have been a reason. They haven't checked it. You haven't heard any screaming, have you?
I'll just kind of like stand straight up and like put one of my ears towards the hallway. Do I hear anything bad coming from down there?
Perception check.
Okay. That is a valid point, Isaiah. Perception. That's a 14.
No, you can hear some voices.
Maybe they're talking? I don't hear any screaming.
Okay. Well, the one said she'd get back to me if they needed us.
Okay.
Could you give me a hand real quick?
Oh, yeah,
Lisa,
sure.
thank you very much. Don't forget all your little gears. Just
Seems to stick him in his pack.
I need about like my abdomen size plates. So if you could help me just bust them off, that'd be great. And we'll just wait for everybody else to get back.
I mean, yeah, sure. I can try to help.
Much obliged.
the rest of you, as they're working on that, what would you like to do?
Think we were gonna head back.
Yeah, we're chaining up
Yeah.
the door and then heading back.
It takes a little bit, but eventually you guys successfully wrap enough chain around there where you think that it would halt something for a little while. Like I said before, the door is not very sturdy, so I mean, Calder, you could easily kick a hole in that thing if you wanted to. But the change would help. You head back down the ramp. Is that what everyone's doing?
Yeah.
I'll stop and look at the door for a second, but continue after everyone.
Potential way out that you thought left behind. Continue down the ramp. You see Isaiah and Eggball ting, snap off this big piece of metal. Both of you kind of have to, as it weighs a lot. Well over 100 pounds.
Oh, fuck.
So
Oh,
should we just
you
throw it
didn't
on the
die up
ground,
there.
or should we just throw it on the ground, or I don't know. What do you want with it?
It is a bit big. I don't suppose you could carry it, can you?
Let me try. Hold on. As I have to do a little bit of math here. Because I forget how carrying weight works.
Well, you also can carry twice as much as anybody else.
Well, I know that's my point, but I need to know what my max's
I've got
carrying
a
capacity is.
I've got a 16 strength and 240 pound carrying capacity. So if you have at least that much strength, you'd have 480.
Then then I can carry it.
Yeah. 240 divided by 16. Yeah, so it's 15 times your strength. Jeez.
Thank
But
you.
for you, it'd be 30 because it's twice.
Okay.
Maybe we'll leave it and come back. Oh, yes. Hello. How'd it go?
Bad signs down that way.
Yeah, we're gonna
everyone
check out
tried
the other side.
door.
Wait, science?
worst kind.
Freaky science.
I mean, there's no bad side.
He's just looking
Oh, there
around,
is.
same as Eggball.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's not
Didn't walk
great.
into the other door.
What
I'm
science?
following.
Yeah, is science bad? What's wrong with
Some of it
science?
is.
The kind that sacrifices a lot of life. Let's go.
That sounds like some bad science.
That would be what
We
I
used to do
said.
that all the time, Mizo and family.
Yep.
You used to do what?
Dummies.
I'm gonna ignore that, and I'm just gonna.
Calder, can you bring the purple stony thing? So we don't have to die when we open this door.
Yeah, I have it. Mizo gave it to me.
Mizo elbows you in the gut, Isaiah, at this point, whenever he sees the thing.
Pat him on top of the head. I know. Patience is a virtue.
He growls.
And a very sharp weapon.
Like my spear?
Better.
Are you saying I could use my spear if he doesn't give it back to me?
No, I'm saying if you're patient, you're more likely to get what you want than if you use your spear.
If I'm patient, I will get what I want and use my spear. Got it.
Close enough for now.
Perfect. See,
I-
Mizo has big brains just like you.
Probably for your size. I mean, there's not much else in there, so it's got to be all brain, right?
Of course. What are we doing?
Are we
Kind
going
of.
to this other door?
Yes,
Or are we
this
going
is
to go
what we're
down?
walking
the
Yeah.
Yeah,
hall?
come on. Come on.
I think
through the door.
I think we all need to be aware of the fact that there could be another one of those giant things behind this door that might not be dead. So everybody on guard.
Right. Again,
Maybe
though,
stand a
are we
little
going to
ways
go
back.
to that door, or do we want to go down the hall?
We might as well go to this door. I mean, this one's right here.
We could go down the hall a little bit just to see if there's anything else
Do we want
before we go ahead.
We were doing a piggyback thing earlier.
Oh, we're getting
Uh,
piggybacks?
Oh,
What do you
Cat,
call the...
we
Knew
can
that
do
was coming.
things.
What's a piggyback?
I haven't had one of those in years.
I say we
Nice.
see what's down the hall. It's always
If
good to
we
have
send
options.
the cat that way while the rest of us go towards the door, then we get both done at the same time.
And you could get a piggyback since you're going to be in the cat's eyes.
Exactly what I was thinking. Sounds good. Come on, Ewan's. And she's gonna let him face down the hallway and just walk up to Calder.
I shake my head and look at Isaiah. You fucking suck when you forget shit. Pick up Elkin.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once she's like safe, she'll go into Urance's vision and send him down the hallway to take a look.
Okay. As you guys are walking not towards the other door, but onward.
No, we're walking towards the other door, and Yorans is going down the hall.
Okay.
I
as you
have a quick question. Am I able to like as we get back and like meet all up and interact with each other again, am I able to tell that Isaiah's also like disconnected from the group a bit?
Fucked up.
Am I able to like
insight
read
check.
that on him? Alright.
Be fairly obvious.
Yeah, I was thinking that 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly obvious that he kind of has a weird. Everyone, especially you, I mean, including you, you're getting this vibe. Since you are the one that really doesn't remember anybody, you start to pick up subtle hints. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of these people know why they're here, or who this person is and that person is. Some of them seem more connected with each other than others, but there are a few of them that seem off. Some words that you picked up, some of them trying to correct themselves in conversation, being like, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Noted.
Isaiah more visibly than the rest of them,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Alright, that's it.
So Yorans begins to head down the hallway in one direction. The rest of you head towards the other massive wooden door. Yorans can only go about 100 feet until his vision. Give me a perception check with Yorans.
Hey, Pike dice. That's 20 for 25.
25. Oh, was it a natural 20?
Yeah,
Best dice.
it's some
Alright.
Pike dice.
Yay!
I remember
25.
that dice.
You see, out of Urance's vision, the hall just continues to stretch on, and on, and on. Out of his visual range until it's almost like an odd horizon as the light of another chandelier you see in the distance kind of shines and causes like almost like an optical illusion of a horizon in this place. So there obviously is some sort of minor rise to the floor to cause that optical illusion, because if it was just flat you'd be able to see until you couldn't. But it seems like there is sort of like a curvature to the ground that causes it to seem like it ends at one point, but it just seems to continue on. And so you kind of, are you going to keep him on the outside distance to continue to scan, or?
Yeah, and she's also getting him to like smell too to see if he can pick up anything, because
Perfect.
mainly looking out for the smells of any other people or creatures down here, kind of thing.
Okay. Doesn't smell anything. And as the rest of you approach the large wooden door, Yorans does spot something. A group of people far, far off in the distance. You can only see the tiny shapes, dots, the black silhouettes, kind of walking in the same direction that your party is.
So we're walking.
You're almost walking parallel
All right.
to one another.
Wow.
So sorry. Are they walking like towards us or like the same
Parallel.
way?
Same direction.
Okay. Velkin will speak up, which is probably really loud in Calder's ear because she's been quiet for a little bit. And she just goes, I found the other group, I
I
think.
cover your mouth.
Didn't know you were into that, but okay. The other group is that way.
You're
And
fucking
so-
noisy is what I'm getting at. There's others.
Yeah, very, very far down the hallway. Like tiny little specks. But definitely a group of people. Looks like there's a slight incline to the ground and a chandelier up ahead.
Tell how many?
Could she?
7? 8?
About our
Hard to
size?
tell.
Heading in
About
which
the same
direction?
group.
Same direction we were heading if we went down that way. Parallel.
Parallel to the direction that you're heading. So as you're heading towards the door, they would be heading towards the door if they were your same group. Heading towards the wall of the cavern.
Yeah,
How far away is he?
Can she guess how many feet? That would be-
In feet,
No. Is your cat?
Oh, Bjorn's? How
Yeah.
far away is he? About 100
100
feet.
feet. Yeah.
About 100 feet.
How far does your? Who's got the longest range little thing they don't mind using?
I have a my firebolt can get 120 feet.
That's about as far as I can. Wait, if we're not doing like, oh, look at us, but
No.
my own dark vision is pretty far.
Does it get dark?
not-
About 120 feet as well.
real quick.
I,
If we stop, everybody stop.
okay.
Are they
that's
still
what I was
moving?
thinking.
Yeah.
Are they?
Perception check with
Same
Urans.
Yeah.
Pike dice. Yeah, Pike dice got a 19. So plus 5. 24.
They did.
They got further away.
No, they stopped moving.
Oh, they stopped moving.
It's a
Are
mirror.
they?
A mirror
Oh.
like this, so it looks, or it. I forget which way it goes, but if you
Wait.
bend the mirror, it looks a lot farther away than.
Oh, it's a mirror.
You're seeing us.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll like jump up and down.
Does
See if there's a-
does one of them move in the mirror?
Is one person
Right.
jumping?
Yeah, some person jumping.
The sound.
Yes, they
Oh.
are.
Yeah, it's a mirror. Sorry, I got excited. For
Okay.
That's all right.
That just means it's shorter than we thought. Doesn't mean there's not a door. If you want to keep eyes going as we go.
Yeah.
Well, Yorns is basically at the edge of which I can have him.
Well, no. I mean, bring him along with us and see if there's
Oh.
another door.
Oh,
on that
okay.
wall or somewhere.
Yeah, she'll have him do that.
I don't know how far away this mirror is.
So you're
Why
kind of
don't we-
tracking. Good.
Why don't we have yours go until he hits the mirror to see how far away it is?
You won't be able to see through his eyes.
Well, no.
Can he talk to you?
Yorns? No, I can just see through his vision. Like his senses kind of thing.
Okay.
Last time you sent him ahead in this place when you couldn't see through him, you had to resummon him. So
Yeah, that kind of sucks. It's not cheap.
yeah, let's just. Well, that cuts our options down at least.
I'd say let's check out this door, and she'll point to the one that we're like standing in front of.
Yeah.
If it leads nowhere, then we'll take a gander down that way. But for now, this looks like our best option.
Older,
Uh,
would you kindly?
everybody,
will-
back up. Get ready, just in case.
Got my gun out.
I will take out
Like
the
30 feet
stone
away.
and do what Mizo did to the last door.
Okay. You see the runes, and you see them glow a different color, this time bright red, as you press the stone up against the handle, just about as it looks like it's going to ignite. You feel a warmth in the stone in your hand, and it dulls the runes.
Put the stone back in a pouch at my belt, draw the sword, and then try to yank open the door.
Whenever the runes are done, you hear you see the wheel that's come out and out from the bottom of the door. You see it fit into its groove. You begin to pull the door up.
Yeah.
You begin to pull the door. Dust this time actually falling from the ceiling. Pull it. You don't hear sounds of anything charging at you this time. And eventually you back up, walking with the door, and you have to set it into place as it sets down. And in front of you, you can see this beautifully golden inlet staircase. It's about 20 feet in width, lined with these beautiful blue torches, blue lit torches, winding the way up.
That looks
Kind
right.
of goes up and begins to curve. You kind of lose sight as it kind of curves to the left.
Are there walls?
There are walls. So the stone is actually, so it's not metal, complete gold, but the stone is kind of cast in gold, and the walls itself still stone, but also cast in gold. There are inlets, like little windows in the walls that these blue torches kind of sit in as they line the wall as they begin to ascend.
Well, blue flame.
Yep. Looks like the way we want to be going.
Everything
Yeah.
seems to be going up, though.
Yeah,
Isn't
noticed that.
weird?
Miso, what direction
We-
did you say you found the shinies in?
Miso don't remember, but it was definitely not as shiny as this place. Much dark, a big dark cavern.
Well, we have no other direction but up, so we might as well just take a look.
It's all up, right? We either go up this staircase or we go up the other one where the other stuff is.
Yeah, let's check out this one.
There's also there is further back before the mirror.
Yes.
But you didn't see any doors? Any other doors?
He did not.
Okay.
No.
I say we head up. I mean, worst thing is we come right back down and head right down that hall.
That's not the worst thing.
Not necessarily the worst thing, but I do think this is the most promising direction.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Start
Everybody.
walking.
Yeah, stay vigilant for traps.
Yeah, why don't you come up here with me? You got better
Yeah,
eyes.
you go first.
Okay.
What is the marching order as you guys ascend this staircase?
How wide is it?
About 20 feet width.
Okay.
It's pretty
I'll-
big. The stairs are very flat, and they're not very high one another. They're very flat and wide.
I'll stay side by side with Ren at the front
Yeah.
so she can look out.
I'll be all the
I
way
will
in the
keep-
back.
Keep to the back with Roderick.
The rest of you?
I'll
In
go.
between them?
Yeah, I'll go behind Ren and Calder.
I mean, it probably takes a solid, 15-20 seconds before Isaiah even steps foot on there. But he'll put a hand on Oak's shoulder and try each step individually. And wait half a second. And then move on to the next step. So he's probably pulling up the rear, if anything. Unless you guys were waiting for him.
I want to be at the back of everything pretty badly.
I'm going to stick towards the back in case our two loose cannons do anything.
Do we want light as we're heading down?
There's blue flame.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Does the blue flame illuminates it?
It does.
Okay.
Causes
okay.
this beautiful scene in front of you. Seems like almost like the stairs of a cathedral, kind of the blue casting this light upon the gold. It kind of gives it this bluish glow to the gold in front of you. Immaculate. But it's still kind of different in a way to the golden hall that you're stepping out of. This hall that you're in is just pure gold. This seems made of stone. There's stonework, but the stone's covered in gold. And the blue light of the torch is kind of flickering, causing this glow to be cast upon the stone.
All right. guess we slowly start up, but noticing Isaiah's hesitation, Rin's just going to say in your head, remember, you can talk to me, I can talk to you. Goes both ways.
Hopefully this time somebody will hear me scream then.
Just call out. Just call out for me. I'll be able to hear you. And oh, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, yeah. I guess we ascend.
Can I just
Hopefully.
can I just gesture for Castus and just be like, after you? See if I can get him to go in front of me.
No, I just stare at you and just kind of just spin the barrel of my pistol. Zzz, after you. Zzz.
Untrusted to be at the back, understood. And just keep walk ahead of him. I don't want to be next to him anymore.
Gotcha.
That's fine. I follow, and I will take up the rear.
You begin to ascend the stairs, and it seems like you're walking up these golden stairs up a tower as it begins to wrap around upon itself and ascend. The windows, not actually windows, but just shaped like inlets in the wall, shaped like windows, each one of them about every 10 feet or so as you climb, has one of these torches with the blue flame, kind of resembling Elder. Whenever the torches had changed right before the imp attack. Continue to ascend. Up and up and up. A good 30 minutes or so. And as you're traveling, the hallway, the passage you're traveling is beginning to get thinner and thinner. So you're about side by side. Eventually, you come to a large landing. Sorry. The landing itself in front of you is probably 5 or 6 feet in distance until it hits this beautiful, just solid gold door. These long, thin handles, outlined by the large crystals that Mizo kind of clutches in one arm at the top of the arch, set side by side. 2 blue torches sit in sconces above it.
I will approach it kind of warily and do an investigation on it.
Your
Guidance.
investigation check.
Okay. All right, I will. The guidance is plus
Add a
4,
D4.
or it's add D4. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and use a psionic dice on this.
Hey.
Okay, good. Okay, that's much better. So, with all of that, 30-20.
30-20. You don't see any traps. But you see right underneath the crystals in the stone, kind of the stone itself probably sits 4 or 5 inches right below before it hits the door, inscription written in Dwarvish.
How long has it been since the books?
Probably about an hour or so.
Can I say it's like the end of the hour?
Sure.
Hell yeah! What does it say?
Comprehend languages let you read it, right?
Yeah.
In Dwarvish, it says, "Here we keep what abandoned us."
Time.
Here we keep what abandoned us.
It's a room full of blocks.
Do they mean people or do they mean time?
Said out front, time abandoned them, didn't it?
It said it forsaken them. But then Falcon said that the
Synonym.
journal said the people. Yeah. Falcon said
Yeah.
the journal said that the people abandoned them. But then I was wondering if the people abandoned them, then what the fuck were they experimenting on?
Can Vulcan pull out the book, the third book, flip through it to find out exactly what it says about the abandoned part?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
And I also want to ask, can I tell, does that inscription seem like it was kind of like carved in like the inscription was on the original gate, or does it look like it was
No, it seems
part of it?
crafted. It seems part
Okay.
of the door.
21.
21. Okay, so I may ask for another roll to answer your question specifically, but as you begin to flip through the pages, you begin to read descriptions of the individuals that were used as experimentation. You begin to recognize some of the drawings, descriptions of these individuals. They're not any normal dwarves, but actually Drogar. Dwarves of the Underdark that were being experimented upon. Give me a history check.
Okay, I'm gonna do the history check, and then I have a question as well.
Mhm.
The history check is 11 plus 8 for a 19, and then my question is the names of the authors
Mm.
and the editor or whatever.
Mhm.
Do those sound like Durgar names, or does it seem like they were surface dwarves?
Those seem more dwarvish than they do
Okay.
Duergar.
So what Velkin can kind of gather is these were probably surface dwarves doing experiments on
Correct.
Durgar.
And for a 19, as you remember the history of the dwarves that once called this place home, you know that they left after the Spell Plague and created a new city, not too far away from the Great Rift, abandoning this place. Assuming that those that actually had abandoned these, you kind of put the pieces together to assume that these two that were doing the experiments had been left behind by their own people whenever they had left a long time ago.
Okay. Velkin would basically explain that to the party and also mention that it seems like the experiments were done on Durgar by surface dwarves. So, it happens, sadly.
Okay.
So we go in the door.
I think so.
Yeah,
Any traps?
not that I can tell. I don't see
Great.
anything.
Safety first. I pull out the stone and just touch it to the door.
No runes appear. Anything like that.
Very good. Put it back in the pouch and I'll... Ready?
Yep, I will back like 5 feet behind Calder.
Try to open it up.
You pull. Without much resistance, the doors just seem to open up. The first thing that happens to all of you, you have to put your hands out in front of your face as a gust of wind blows out. And the sound of wind in your ears, that howling, is the first thing that you hear. You also have to close your eyes for a moment as the sun shines directly upon your face. As you shake off, you stand in a doorway, looking amongst the clouds. The sun above you, a path laid out in front of you. The path itself, made of the same gold stone that you now sit on, you can see probably about 10 or 15 feet. There is a staircase, and the path continues to wind in a maze-like direction until it gets to what looks like the ruins of a large golden cathedral. The very top of this place, just one of the walls. You don't see a steeple or anything like that, but behind the wall you see this massive dome with this beautiful glass as the light kind of shines down inside of it. The clouds surrounding all of you. Calder, you kind of being the one at the doorway, you look over and you look to your left and you look to your right. Give me a perception check.
Huh. Natty one.
Not only one. The only thing you recognize that the path is built. It's not just suspended in air. It's actually built upon a large mountaintop. You look to your left and your right. You can see the black and gray stone where these dwarves probably constructed this pathway, this golden pathway, on top of a mountain somewhere. the clouds almost at your feet as they kind of lay at the peak of this mountain.
I'll creep forward.
Well, that
Were
certainly-
we near mountains?
Were we?
You were not.
Geographically? No. Also, fuck, that's bright. And she's gonna reach in and pull her hat out of her bag and like pull it on because shit, that hurts the
Yeah,
eyes.
Isaiah made you something to help with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she puts on the sunglasses with her hat and she's just like, okay, I'm good now.
Little old lady just sit on the bus.
I know, that's what it makes me think of, like a little old mall lady.
A big old cathedral certainly looks like it could hold something important.
Yeah, maybe a big fucking gate. Okay, how wide is this path, did you say?
It's about 15 feet across,
15 feet. Okay.
give or take a few feet. But yeah,
I'm gonna
There more
link arms with
mountain on
Calder.
either side of the path?
what'd you say?
Is there more mountain on either side of the path, or is it a drop?
It is just drop.
Like into open sky, like free
That's
fall.
what you can see.
Wind's pretty heavy. I say we do the buddy system. Link arms with Calder. You're a lot heavier than me.
Well, good anchor.
Yeah. Okie
I look
doke.
back
See
at Melvin,
Mizo
jealous.
slowly climb,
I am.
climb
You're
on the
red
back of
drink.
Ook, and he puts his arms on Ook, and he kind of sticks his claws into his plate.
I mean, you could ask nicely, but sure.
Buddy system.
Redrick, will you be my buddy?
I'm not really feeling very buddy right now. I think I'll take my chances.
Also,
You can hang on to us, Falcon. I'm not taking them from you.
Okay. she's gonna like climb onto Calder's back again.
Of course. I fucking knew. I was like, oh
Just like
my
a
God.
backpack at this point. Little drow backpack.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Onward.
Yep. Keep an eye out for any loose steps or anything.
So you continue up the path. You ascend these stairs, and you have to make a quick right. Kind of leads you about 30 or 40 feet. You begin to wind in a serpentine-like fashion. The wind blowing heavily. Sometimes you all have to stop, kind of brace yourselves. As you can tell the altitude up here. You are high as the mountain winds blow, and almost kind of, those of you that are alone kind of have to tighten up a little bit more than those of you that are linked in arms. Now, Red are kind of taking up the rear. You notice that you're kind of have to pushing and struggle a little bit behind the rest of them as you're falling a little bit behind. As you come around one gap, or around one corner, you see Calder and Ren being the first two, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A massive gap in the path, broken. In stone.
Boy. How big?
At the shortest distance, it's 10 feet.
That's
The
like
path
double
completely
my height.
crumbled, and you look and you kind of get to the edge. And you can just see it drops off the stone, crumbling. And you get to the edge, and you can feel it go. And a few stones of the path actually crumbles beneath your feet, Calder, and you kind of have to step back for a moment, and you just see them drop until they disappear in the clouds.
Well, we can jump it with a rope, for reassurance. I'll go first. Y'all hold on to the rope, that just in case I fall. But if I get to the other side, then I'm a good anchor, and I can toss the rope back for whoever's going next.
Okay.
You hear
Isaiah,
that?
do you and
Oh, yeah,
Ook
sorry.
want to hold the other end of the rope? Because if Calder falls, I can't keep him up.
We'll keep.
Yeah,
it
maybe a
covered.
good 3 you hang on.
Yeah.
I'll actually tie the other end of the rope to Ook.
Perfect.
So as long as you don't break the rope.
Okay, are you going to jump?
Hell yeah.
Give me an athletics check.
Sick. Oh, what the fuck, Pike?
Ah, the pipe like some tight space
Coulda
like
fell.
"Wee!"
I gotta
Very
steal
shady.
yours.
She'd be the one going into the gap right now.
9.
Does it
Oh
look
my
like he's
gosh,
gonna
that's so
fall?
low.
Indeed it
I'm
does.
gonna chrono
So
shift,
he goes,
and I'm gonna hope it doesn't fuck things up.
and you see him begin to. He catches his foot on the edge. And you chrono shift, correct?
I'm gonna chrono shift and hope that he just doesn't like.
Is that a
freeze up.
reaction?
Yes.
It is a
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yes.
Can't be worse. No.
10. One better. Is it enough?
10?
Is 10 enough?
10 is enough.
Oh my god.
I still wobble, but then I
So
can't.
you jump. All of a sudden, you feel like your foot slip, and you feel like you're falling. You feel the air, and then all of a sudden, you get kind of driven back by force. You're not really too sure, and you step, and all of a sudden, you have to jump over the path behind you. Another 5 feet. As you run, crumbles, adding the distance.
Cake. No fucking problem.
You're welcome.
Get.
You're welcome. Also, now only one other person can like fail that because I only have one other casting of it.
We got the rope now, and you're holding the other end. So there you go.
Oh, Velkin's not. She's she
Not
has
you.
nothing.
Hey, how do
It's
you
time
plan
to
on getting
move.
back after though?
The same way.
15 feet now.
I can jump far.
I can't
I got-
do.
I point to my thighs. They're thick.
Who's next?
Squats
Uh,
all day.
Is the rope like pretty taut?
He kind of tossed it. It's now hanging loosely,
Oh,
and you just pull it back up.
Velkin's gonna say, I'm not even going to try this, and she's just gonna Misty step over.
Can't
What's it
you
look
take
like when
somebody
you
with
miss-
Misty Step?
No.
Too late.
What?
No.
What's it look
No,
like
it's
whenever
it's just
this
okay.
dimension door?
It's the clock kind of forms underneath her feet, and then it goes like up, and she disappears, and then the clock forms on the other side, and she rises out of it.
Engage. Sounds like something from Star Trek. You just
beam us up,
appear.
Scotty.
And she's just standing beside Calder on the other side, and she's like,
Fucking show off. Who's next?
I guess I am. If the rope is taut, could I like, if I were to walk across it like a tightrope, would that be an acrobatics?
It would definitely be an acrobatics check.
No.
That
All
sounds
right.
like a great idea.
Well, you would have
Well,
to
that-
toss the rope back to Calder.
No, Calder,
I
take the
still
rope
have-
across.
Oh, you
Yeah,
still
I have an end,
Okay,
and the
I
other
thought
end
you
is tied to Ook.
Okay. You can
Yeah.
always try and give it Calder a direction.
All right, pull it tight.
I'll wrap it
Uh,
around my forearm a bunch of times, and
I'll just kind of
You
like
get that.
climb up Ook. Stand. I will stand on the rope, kind of get my balance.
Athletics check,
And
or I mean acrobatics.
here goes nothing. Alrighty. So that's not terrible. But just cause I'm proficient. Well, actually, okay. So Cynax says that if I fail, then I can roll a dice and add to it. So I'm gonna wait and see if I fail. But that is
Roll.
a 17.
17.
Oh, sorry, 16. 16.
Okay, then it changes things. So you begin to cross the rope. And as you are about in the center, the rope begins to go slack as you see Calder slowly beginning to move. I need you to make me an athletics check, Calder.
okay.
As the full weight of Ren on the rope is kind of getting to be a struggle.
She's wobbling. She's like, I'm not that fucking heavy.
22.
22. Easy enough. And you pull back and the rope kind of jolts for a moment. You have to stop and balance yourself. And you quickly run across the rope.
Okay. Piece of cake.
All right.
Okay.
Not
Next.
everybody has to be a fucking circus performer.
Well, no. So,
Whatever.
how is Ook getting across? Because I might be a little too heavy, so I know I can jump, but can Ook jump across?
Ook will be fine.
Okay. All right.
We'll worry about that last.
What's the I was gonna say. So now the shortest distance is
15 feet.
15 feet. I mean, technically, I could. So
Do it.
I mean,
Do
you
I,
gotta take 'em.
yeah, I was gonna say because no offense, I don't think the two of you would. I don't know. I
Do
could
you
chance it and
want-
take the
I
rope,
mean,
but
Do you
We're very
want the
strong.
second rope attached to Oot just in
Yeah,
case
for what
you
if-
miss?
Yeah, you can still jump, but you have the rope there as a backup. You know,
Grab onto it,
like
you're
just jump over
falling.
top of it.
Anyway,
I'm
For
just
what
gonna
it's
run
worth,
for
I'll
it.
hold on to
So
another.
what is it? What is it? I'm gonna walk back like a little bit, and then I'm just gonna go in for a sprint. So 10 feet, and then I'm gonna try to do a long jump. So that should be my strength is 16.
Okay, just roll me an athletics check.
Put warmth in your pocket.
I can't do that to myself, man. I can't warm myself.
Oh no, really?
And
No.
warm myself.
Can't just
Clutch.
caress
I
your own
can't
thigh?
warm myself.
Eternally cold.
Terrible visual.
So you said
Just everything
athletics?
touching his thighs.
Yes, sir.
That's an 8.
An 8.
Oh, good
I
lord.
love to hear.
Oh my god.
You
The
jump.
rope is there. Grab it.
You begin to fall. You see the rope. Dexterity
grab
saving
it.
throw.
Okay.
Buddy.
Is this the end for Egg?
Come on.
No, this is the end for Velkin's chronal shifts. I
Yeah,
can see it
I'm
on their
gonna-
face, yeah.
No. Wait. If I see him miss, I'm jumping after him. Literally going to jump after him.
All
If it
right.
wasn't me, it was gonna be me,
So
so.
you said dexterity saving throw. That's a 7. I rolled 2 natural 2s.
You see
God.
Ed goes and reaches for the rope and
And you hear Cassius scream,
You just
"Son of a
free
bitch!" So he jumps down and kind of does a little, tightens his body so he shoots right down. And once he has a hand on Egg, I'm going to bamf my wings and fly back up.
okay, how far can you fly?
It's for 1 minute. So how long it takes to do that?
Okay.
60, 10, 600 feet.
Exactly. So you dive. And he's not that far. He's probably, free fall, he's probably 50 and 60 feet if you jump right after him. So you leap. And go into a free dive.
Fucking freaking
Catch him.
out.
And you guys catch and you impact. And now you begin to spin. You bamf out your wings. They bamf out. The beautiful color. This time, golden silver sparkles burst out with them and kind of light up the cloudy sky. You begin to spin. The wings kind of curl around you. You begin to flap. I need you to give me
Oh no.
a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
What?
Why?
You feel the warmth in your pocket.
Okay, thank you. I can look.
You definitely feel the warmth in your pocket.
Is it pee?
Put it right in your mouth.
I'm
Is
sorry.
it pee? for
You
being
hope it's not
free?
wet.
Feel the warmth in your mouth.
Okay. Wisdom saving. My wisdom is actually Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Shit. Okay. With the me chomping on something, it is it's only an 11.
11. So you're falling. You kind of envelop Egg with the wings, and then you kind of branch them out and begin to flap. You're falling. You continue to fall. You're trying your hardest to flap, but all of a sudden you feel like you're stopped and grabbed in the middle of the air. And almost as if you were pulled, you find strength that you didn't think you really had beneath you, and you go with one massive flap of the wings, you jolt straight up. And you flap. And you land on the other side with Eggball.
Oh.
I am just stiff.
Egg, you are heavy.
I don't know who the fuck you are, but well fucking done. Get the rest of them over. I don't know how long that lasts, but use it.
Yeah. How long do I have? You say I have time left on that? The wings with the flying and the strain.
That probably took About a minute, I will say.
Damn.
Okay, so I'll say the wings dissipate as the feathers kind of just are cast by the away by the wind.
As you cast, or as they dissipate, you hear a voice inside of your head. Fatherhood means sacrifice. That's all you hear.
I don't like the sound of that. It's nice, but I don't like the sound of that.
I thought that was a good job, buddy. Like a pat on the back.
No, no, but however, that's still not a great thing. It's sacrifice. It's not a very good thing. Okay. And yeah, I just kind of I kind of give a little look up, kind of give a little nod to whatever might be watching, and then look over to the others.
Who's left on the other side? Is it just me and Isaiah?
And Ook and Miso.
And Miso.
No, Velkin
Miso.
went over already.
Yeah.
Miso.
Yeah, I can whatever.
Oh,
Um,
you're up.
yeah. While this is all going on, I'll kind of like as I walk by Isaiah, I guess I'll just say like, they're hiding something from you, and I'll be like, I'll take the wings, just kind of call it out to everyone, and just hold my hand up, get ready to like get picked up.
They dissipated.
Oh yeah,
There's
they're
no-
gone?
there are no
Okay,
wings.
never
There are no
mind. Then
wings.
no, I
You're
won't
on
do
your-
that. That'd be
you're on
dumb.
your own.
But I will
Stay.
then slowly start like going to a jog and run and like try and jump across.
Oh,
I
God.
guess,
Athletics
yeah.
check.
There's no other way to do it.
There's a rope.
The rope is to grab if you mess. The rope is to grab
No,
if
no,
you mess.
We could literally tie a rope to you, so there's no possibility
it's
of
fine.
getting tied.
It's too
Everyone's
late.
free jumping.
It's
along.
It's okay. I got like a 24. Yeah, I got a 24.
Easily. The old 53-year-old Redrick backs up and lands.
My knees.
Next to all of you, kind of slamming into some of you as you kind of catch them in the impact.
It's
Good
not
job,
that hard.
Gramps. Yeah, all right.
Apparently not.
Miso.
Miso, right? You're up.
Kind of looks down at you.
I'm going on the back of him. Miso can't jump that far.
Use
No,
the
but
rope,
you can
Miso.
climb the rope. If we can hold Ren. we
Better
can hold
idea. I tie rope around myself. I step off the edge and you pull Miso up.
Sure.
I got a better idea. If you'll allow me. You're not going to be in any danger of falling. I'm going to tie a rope around you and then tie it loosely around the one we've got here. And so you're just hanging. All you got to do is just pull yourself across. Nice little harness.
Persuasion check.
Grandfather,
Talk
pick him
to
up. Like,
people. What's my proficiency now? 12.
No. Miso says tie rope around Miso's waist and Red One pulls me up.
All right. I'll untie it from Ook and I'll tie it onto Miso.
Make sure it's nice and tight. All right, Red One. Make sure to pull Miso up.
I got you.
He steps off.
Ah!
Begin to pull him.
Yeah,
He's
reel him
light. He's like
Yeah.
60 pounds max
Right.
with all of his gear. And you pull him. He clambers up. Kind of makes this nasty little growling sound.
Ugh. Miso liked to fly whenever he saw floor. When there's no floor, Miso don't like to fly.
Quickly unties
it's not
the
too
rope.
bad.
It's kind of bad.
I'll throw the other end back over to Isaiah.
Oh, no worries. Quick question for the DM. If a spell mentions a target being teleported,
Uh-huh.
but doesn't clarify whether or not everything they're carrying goes with them, would whatever they're carrying go with them?
Depends on what spell you're. It depends on what spell you're
I
casting.
think typically.
Typically,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so too.
Like if you cast teleport in D&D, you teleport with your things.
Well, yes. So my question then
With
is,
this- now you're. I don't know what you're asking.
You're being so weird, man.
What
Just take it.
what
Just
spell are
take
you
it and
asking
go.
me?
so if Ook gets teleported while he's carrying me,
Uh-huh.
would I go with him? It's called Vortex Warp.
Can you read the spell to me?
You magically
I
twist.
will. Good.
You magically twist space around another creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw. It can choose to fail. Or the target is teleported to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. Chosen space must be on a surface or in a liquid that can support the target without it having to squeeze.
Probably not. So the target
Yeah.
would be teleported, but you are not the target. Nuke's the target.
All right, fair enough.
You could technically you could put all of your gear on Nuke and that would be
Yeah.
teleported, but
Instead, Calder goes to throw the rope back, and I just let it bounce and be like, I got a better idea. And he smacks his hammer against his shield to create some sparks, and then takes them into the form of lightning and opens two doors. And he and Ook walk past the rest of the party onto more solid ground.
awesome. What are you casting?
Vortex warp, and I'll do it
Oh,
twice. Once for me,
Awesome.
once for
I
him.
see. Awesome. Cool. So two of these like blue electrical like doors open up behind you and in front of you. It's kind of sending these sparks into the air. And Isaiah just steps through and out the other end. And Ook behind him. Kind of with a thunderous lightning crack as they come through the doorway. Like almost like a boom of thunder and a crack. He appears.
That's a
Well,
neat
all
trick.
right.
That's showing off.
That's the last time I can do that today, so hopefully that's
Alrighty.
the last one of these. Let's go.
Yeah. I'll head back towards the
Hey.
front.
I don't know whose rope it is, but I'll return it to them.
It's
One of
one of
ours?
your ropes.
It's rope.
Yeah.
Rope. Everyone has it.
Well, mine got left.
You got
So
yours.
now this is yours. So this
Oh, it's
rope
mine
becomes your rope. Yep.
Keep it.
Oh.
There you go.
Someone has to lose rope if Calder gains
Oh.
rope. Just saying.
Not a problem.
Someone choose. Oh, it's Isaiah. Okay.
All right.
Well,
As
you
you bamf
getting
across
my
the
rope.
path and everyone has made it across, it is a very short distance before you get to the wall of this massive cathedral. Large stained glass windows kind of set in panes. You can see these candles lit by blue flames set on pedestals around these large windows as you get closer and closer. Small little licks of fire. The candles look like they're melted, but they aren't the heat. The flame is not producing any heat. The wax of the candle is actually not melting, but it looks like it is sort of thematically already melted. And you begin to walk the outskirts of this ruined cathedral. A large dome-like structure sitting above you, and at this point you can see the sun kind of casting glints and shines in your eyes of these beautiful steel, like framework and structure of the glass panes that are kind of at the top of this dome. You're walking past. You can see that the wall of this structure is not really doesn't have any carvings or artwork or writing. It just seems like an oddly placed. It's almost as if this place had been taken from a cathedral, picked up and set on a mountain. The side of the wall is kind of in ruins and rubble. You can see where it was kind of ripped out of side of of a building, right? It's just this massive wall. But behind it sits a dome. Eventually you come to an entryway. Kind of two arches kind of leads into this dark overhang, which you can see two beautifully made oak doors. These gold and brass handles that sit on them. Looks like an entryway into this cathedral if it still kind of existed. The path does continue on in front of you if you want to continue that way, but it's up to you. This is the first kind of doorway that you see.
Are there any signs, insignia, writing by the door?
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, that's not bad. 19.
19. There isn't. But there are two large dwarven statues sitting on pedestals. One hammering. You can see him about to impact something. The other with this large mace kind of sitting in front of her, standing kind of still. They're both busts of these individuals sitting on large golden pedestals on both of the doors.
Would I recognize the male figure as Moradin?
Yes, you would. Easy enough.
Well, seems like we found where they prayed once upon a time. We going in?
Yeah.
Might as well.
What we came here for.
Okay. So who's the one to open the door? Calder and Ren?
Guess so.
Ren's behind Calder. Oh, I lost Liam again.
Bye, Liam.
See ya.
Bye, Liam. He's back.
You want to give it a once over?
Yeah, I'll check it for traps.
Go ahead
Runes.
and roll me
Guidance.
investigation.
Ooh, nice. Alrighty, so 28.
28. You look and you
Yeah.
begin to examine the door. It's not trapped. No signs of traps.
I think we're good. While I'm there, just on impulse, I'll like put my ear to the door and see if I hear anything.
I stop with my hand on the door.
15.
15. You hear a humming. Boom. 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 And as you kind of put your ear to the door, you feel something. The door is vibrating.
I'll
Pulses.
back.
Boom. Boom.
Do I feel that in my hand?
Yes, if you have the hand on the door.
I'll look at you.
Something.
You said it paused and then did it move
Yeah.
off or?
It's odd pulsing.
Like pulsing.
Okay. Hang on real quick. Hey Isaiah, can I see Ook's flame?
I mean, he's right. Sure. I'll open up the forge doors.
Never thought.
You never know. Does the flame seem to be pulsing at all with the door, or is it just normal?
No, it seems to be normal.
Okay.
But like I said before, Ook the blue flame itself seems to be hotter, brighter, more violent here in this space.
Does it look more so than the last time that was noticed?
This morning?
Yeah, it would be this morning, whenever he checked in the golden halls of the dwarves. Isaiah, you would, after he kind of look, and it seems about the same.
No,
It hasn't like. But remember when you open that him
Yep,
initially, that the oxygen was or the air was released, and it was violent, and still is.
I think maybe wherever we are now, we're separated from whatever was dampening him by the other end of the gate.
Yeah. Okay,
But
nobody directly in front of the door.
But if we're worried, that the glass dome looks clear, right?
Yes.
Just send the cat up.
That's a good idea.
I
Just
don't
get a
mind.
peek inside.
Yeah, we'll send Yorance like usual.
You send Urans into the air. He flies up. Perception check.
That is a 15 on the dice for a 20.
A 20.
30.
A 30.
No, dirty. 30.
Oh, dirty. I thought you said 30. I was like, damn. So Urans flies up and begins to make a circle over this large dome. And what he sees inside initially The place is low lit. You can see that these vents kind of are pulsing with this flame, normal flame, not blue flame, on four corners of this cathedral-like structure in the center chamber here. There are four braziers set in the center of the room, but dead center of the room, and the room's kind of cluttered with destruction, and it seems like clutter everywhere, some pillars and parts of the structure that actually probably got loosened when however this place got moved here or whatever kind of caused this destruction of the wall. It seemed to just cause a mess inside of here. But in the center of the room is what Yorins notices very, very clearly. There is a massive dome inside. Glass dome with bronze housings. These large rivets kind of clasped to the dome. These large beams kind of crisscrossing like this over top of the dome. And inside you can see just blue flame contained. What seems like these metal connections coming to the dome itself from four large, the best I can explain is like metal brass tubing. It kind of connects to the dome itself. One of them broken. You can see sparks kind of bursting at one of the out of one of the tubes. Next to them, and above the dome itself, you see shards of crystals, similar to what Mizo carries in his hand, floating all around the ceiling of the room. You also see what looks like two large crystalline humanoid figures floating about 15 feet off the ground. Very rigid, arms crossed, floating. Going around in a circular motion around the dome itself. Alongside the crystals.
Okay, does any of this ring a bell in general, and more specifically, anything that Vulcan learned when she was with Indian Abad? Anything in terms of contained blue flame, like the bronze, the crystalline figures, anything?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Another 15 on the die, but that one is a +8.
It's hard to tell. You've never seen anything like this before in your life, nor have you really read about it, especially after extensive study with the two that you traveled with, the many libraries that you've stopped out on the Sword Coast and on your way to Chondath and all of that. It's odd. You've never seen anything like this before. Why anybody would want to contain a blue flame like this, the only people that you would hear in retrospect is the Order of the Blue Flame. Some of the people of the Order always wanted to try to contain it and kind of cause the spread, cause, the plague lands to spread to try to house that power.
Okay. Vulcan's in Eorns' vision for a while. She's kind of trying to get different angles, see if anything jogs her memory. But eventually the cat eyes fade. Her eyes return and she says, okay, it's a little bit weird. And she'll go into a detailed description on what's in there. And the fact that she, even with her time spent with members of the Blue Flame, she doesn't know what the hell this is.
Maybe
Do you
that could
think
be
those are
containing the gate.
It could be. The thing that definitely has my attention is the broken one, Things aren't running smoothly for the Blue Flame right now, from what we've experienced. And if it's broken, and some of it's escaping.
those crystalline things Do we think those are guards?
That's my guess. I'll be honest. That's my
Yeah.
best guess.
Just to clarify real quick, the crystals floating that you said were the ones Mizo had, they're the like magic nullifying ones, not the one he got from the chandelier. Right?
No, the ones that he had from the chandelier.
Okay.
Oh.
These beautiful white like crystals.
Gotcha.
Is it possible for anyone to? Are we on the like side of a mountain or like are surrounded by mountain?
You're on
Would it
like
be-
the peak of a mountain.
So we can see
So
pretty
around-
far away.
Yes.
You
can't really see because you're in cloud cover, but yes.
Never mind that. Well, I was just gonna say, is it possible for anybody to see if they can figure out where we are?
I could send the Orans up to get a geographical idea, maybe.
Maybe down below the clouds.
Clouds, you want to go
Yeah.
down, yeah.
Down, yeah. I can try using my knowledge.
Yeah.
Is anybody familiar with mountain ranges?
Done some reading here
Well,
and there.
I really kind of only know the one that I'm at. Used to live. Kinda.
I can take a look, and I can, even if I don't recognize it, I can do my best to describe it, and then maybe Egg, who's a little more familiar with the area, might know. And she'll bring Yorns back and then send him down below the cloud cover to see if she can get a look at where we might be.
So you send Yorns down, and he begins to fly below the clouds. The mist and that white, heavy, the heaviness to the clouds kind of sets in Yorns' vision, and you can just see him flying downward. And all of a sudden, it ends. Your connection to Yorns is no more.
Can she snap him back, or is he like he gone?
He's
Has to
gone.
be reset. You see it like immediately. It's not like the slow fading. It's like the vision is gone, and Luca just goes, "For fuck's sakes! Oh my god!" It desummoned him, sending him down. So
So we're still in this little weird pocket dimension thing.
yes,
Most likely. So theoretically, if that container in there is meant to hold the Black Gate, and it's already breaking,
Doesn't
these
it
enemies
contain
of
the
ours
blue
are
flame?
maybe, or maybe it's supposed to.
What if that is the gate? The blue flame, like a big fucking hole of blue flame.
Right. Maybe these fuckers we were trying to raise here are coming to finish the job. Bust it open.
But crap, I don't remember any of that.
I'm
we're-
thinking the same thing right now.
Unless we're in the
There's so
wrong
much
place
I'm
altogether.
Trying to figure out
Is-
what I can say. But I
Yep.
can't.
Is there any evidence like on the like around that might indicate that someone else was here before us?
Ooh, investigation check.
Of course, I'm the one who has to say that because I have shit investigation. Come on, don't fuck me, don't fuck me. Oh, you fucked me hard. See, that's a natural 1 minus 1. That's a
Hell
0.
yeah, hell yeah.
Oh man,
Wow.
What's
buddy.
in here? Man, maybe you even would have maybe visited here just because how good it was once upon a time.
Well,
Never mind.
at least there's one good thing. I haven't had anything I couldn't fix just yet, aside from people.
So long as those things don't attack us.
that's
Right.
my feeling. And I have no. I mean, I could try resummoning him, but don't know how that'll go, and it'll take me a while. And
Do we want to go in? Do we want to post up out here to try to
Take a-
stop them if they show up?
take a little nappy?
That's
Well,
not wrong. A little rest, maybe. Yeah.
there's a lot of blue flame in there.
Yeah.
And blue flame was the break, and maybe it's. Isaiah turns to Ook and goes, well, You can move your head, so nodding is yes, shaking is no. Should we fix the containment? Do you want me to fix the containment?
Stare straight ahead. You don't get the sense that he really understood you. But what he does do, he places his hand firm on the ground, like he did once before in a small little cave.
Did you tell him to do that?
No.
Okay,
I'm gonna take a
Is he-
step away from the monkey.
Is he
Eight
trying to
things.
like tell us that there's a link between this and the flames that came up before? Can I insight check a robot?
You can try.
Okay.
You certainly try.
Oh man.
That's not going to be enough. Well, I am proficient, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a psionic die.
Sure.
So that was
Use them up.
okay. That is still not great. 16.
You're not too sure what it means. He stands stalwart, staring straight at the door, his hand just kind of lifted for a moment, and planted back into the ground.
Has it been 3 hours since I made the connection to the others? Is the connection still up?
When did you make the connection? Initially at the door?
I
Before
made
that?
it.
When I was
I made
freaking
it
out in
when
the
we woke up
hallway.
Isaiah. No, I
Um,
made it when Isaiah was freaking out when he woke up.
You're probably getting close.
Okay. I could always try to connect him again, but it's never worked in the past.
Whatever something is trying to communicate, but we don't know what and we don't know why. Maybe there's some more information inside. Something more we can figure out that the cat didn't see.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we should scout the path a little and see if there's a different entrance.
fair enough. Can't
What do you
hurt.
guys think? Yeah. I do like to be informed.
And maybe somebody with better eyes could see if there's any footprints around.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'll check as we go up the path.
It's so
I'll start
pretty out
walking.
here.
I'll start walking up the path.
That's just like,
And as I do, I'll keep an eye out for. Yeah.
Guidance.
Oh, doesn't matter. That one.
Yeah.
That one
Hey.
on investigation. What are you hiding, you bastard? How did you make that happen?
So, Ren, you're the only one that continues down the path. I'm assuming. Everyone else stays?
No, stay
Ah.
within 30 feet of her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not too far away. It is only about 30 feet until the path kind of turns to the right, an abrupt right, underneath this arch, where you see a shadow kind of over the end of the path where it has broken off. But the path seems like it would probably have once lined the side of the building, as the wall that you were kind of walking along, turns this way and heads away from you. You see a ledge that you could probably squeeze onto. That's probably about 3 feet in width, 2 to 3 feet, that lines the edge of the building. Otherwise, it is just open air. You can see 2 large windows, stained glass windows, on the side of the building. Perception check.
Ooh, 22.
22. You see the one that's the farthest one, has a massive break in it. You can see the glass is shattered. Some of the glass has fallen onto the ledge itself. But yeah, that one specifically is broken.
Okay.
And that's probably 10 or so feet out onto the ledge.
10 or so feet out. Okay. Calder, you there?
Sure.
Still got that rope?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Gonna take it just for security. It's a little high even for me. And I will tie it to myself. I will trust Calder and I'll look at you this time and be like, are you sure you can you hold me up, big guy?
Fucking guy. I had you last time, didn't I?
You almost flung me off the damn thing, but as I say that, as I'm like grumbling, I'm easing
I'm not the
myself
one who
onto the
tried to
ledge.
Okay.
Tight
Give
walk.
me an athletics
fucking
check.
rope.
Or I mean, acrobatics check. Sorry.
Okay, that is +7. Yeah, so that is a 24.
24. Easy enough. You just kind of tiptoe. Tick, 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 tick. And you're going to the broken window?
Yeah, I'm gonna very carefully peer.
You pull yourself up a little bit, and inside you look. You see the same scene. The 2 crystalline figures. Now that you're a little bit closer, you can tell that they are made of pure, smooth crystal. Inside each of their chests, you see a marking or a symbol, and they glow blue inside the thing's chest as they float. Very eerie looking scene as you see crystals around them, the sun kind of peering down, shining this beautiful light upon the crystalline figures. They stand, like I said, straight, their heads kind of up in the air, their arms crossed as they float.
Are the symbols in the chest the same on each one?
They're different. You do not recognize them. Because honestly, they are just almost just lines. One, almost like an odd looking S. The other is more a symbol of an eye without the pupil or the iris or anything like that. It's like an oval.
Does the eye remind me? Fuck, what was it with the eye? Who had the eye? What was the eye thing? There was some symbol with an eye, wasn't there?
So this
Am I
is
thinking of
it
something
doesn't
else?
really represent. I mean, you could recognize it as an eye, but honestly, it is just a line that kind of looks like this, but is all blue. Okay.
Okay.
As you peer in, you look down, and you can see that some of the wooden beams from the top of the structure have fallen on a staircase not too far by. And if you would crawl through the window, you probably have a 5-foot drop until you land on a large platform that kind of overlooks the center of this dome, the center of the building. The dome itself. Give me what did you say your perception check was? Or you didn't make one? Give me a perception
did.
check. Oh, okay, you did.
It was a 22. Yeah.
Right. So as you look inside, now that you're closer, you can see that not only is the dome itself, it's not just blue flame. You see the flame in the center, kind of. But as it kind of gets to its peak, there's these blue electrical charges that kind of pulse off of it. And that seems to be funneling into the tubes itself. So the flame is the center of the source, but it seems like the electricity is being sucked from the source of the flame. So a lot of the blue that you see is flashes of light from these electrical currents that are flowing from the flame to these metal tubes that are housed to the side of the dome. Every time one of the electrical currents flows up to the one that is broken, you can see it spark. You can almost feel the hum of it beneath your feet as it does spark.
Can I see where any of the tubes are leading?
To the ceiling. Not too sure. Metal structures, almost like these round inlets in the wall and the ceiling.
And none of them go like outside the building, right? Like we don't see tubes like jutting out. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Last question. Any bodies, any signs of life that looking down at the platform, do I see any like footprints on that or anything?
You see shards of glass.
Mhm.
No other individuals in this room.
Okay. And no like footprints that I can tell on that
Not that
platform.
you can see. No. It seems immaculate. There's not much dust or dirt or grime that someone would leave here. It seems very cleanly.
Okay. Take one last look around. We'll come back. All right. Let's just kind of getting back together with everybody. So that's like a definite way in. There's a ledge below that window. It's only about 5 feet down, pretty big. The dome, though, it's not. It's a power source. It's like making the electricity. It's funneling through those tubes, and they like lead up the building. I don't know kind of where they go. It's just like a tube, and then it goes into the wall. So I think it's their power source, but I don't know how they would, what they would be. That's the question. I don't know. Oh, Falcon, Isaiah, I'll get down and like in the dirt of the path. I will remake those symbols that are in the chests of the crystalline figures. These are in the chests. Do either of you recognize them?
Do we?
Give me just give me a history check.
I would guess this S is for
More.
sucks.
Oh, I was thinking
just-
LL for some reason.
I'm just envisioning that S, that like 3S that everybody drew in middle school.
S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 10.
I got a 22.
22. Even with the 22, you do not recognize these symbols. They just seem like, basic ass shit.
Do they look
That's what I can explain.
similar to any language? Like, I don't know, maybe the way things are written. Like, does it
Mm.
remind her of her language?
Let me see.
I assume Isaiah would recognize if they were dwarven characters, so that's probably out.
They are
Yeah.
definitely not.
Assuming it was, actual like characters or words and not just
Yeah.
yeah.
Please take time, my friends. Give me one moment.
No problem.
In the meantime, we're doing a giveaway. So follow for a Wizards of the Coast book. One random follower when we hit 150. Check it out. Any Wizard of the Coast book of your choosing.
Tell your friends.
Yep.
It almost
Here we go.
resembles Elvish, but nothing that you've ever seen.
It gives me an elvish vibe. Not the way things are written, but it's not. It's the best I can help you with.
Not celestial by any chance.
No.
Okay, so we know that an elf woman founded the Order of the Blue Flame, and those symbols look kind of elvish. So is there any chance that the Order of the Blue Flame or the Zahn like made those things to protect whatever the fuck that is?
Maybe.
I'm just gonna make a note. Velkin's gonna open up her notebook and she's going to record these symbols.
Okay.
She'll say this out loud. She's like, I don't know when I'll get the chance or if I'll get the chance to look more into these, but I'm wondering if it's some sort of like ancient Elvish, like a
Yeah.
prelude to what we currently use. Sylvan exists, which is an older form of Elvish, but it's not that either.
Ren,
there
was there any stairs in there? Any doors? Anywhere that leads elsewhere inside?
Yeah, I think you said I saw a staircase, right?
A staircase that led down into the center of the room. The only other doorway you saw was the one that was the one where you guys had approached initially. There's 2 sets of stairs that lead to the center, off these platforms that you saw into the center of the room.
No, not really. Just there's stairs from the platform, but
Based
the
on
only
what they
thing I
saw,
Go ahead.
about how far from like the middle and the 2 crystal guys and stuff would we be at the door? Where I assume that's where we are.
50, 60 feet.
I'm gonna just walk up to the door, put my hand on it, and cast Divine Sense.
Celestial fiend or undead, correct?
Celestial fiend, undead, consecrated, or desecrated.
Let me make sure. You do not sense anything.
Here is where we keep what abandoned us, and it's a church. So are they talking about the gods? Are they talking about the flame?
Mistra.
Huh.
Why did they kill Mistra? I asked Falcon.
It was Evan, please correct me if I'm wrong. It was another god that killed Mistra.
Oh yeah,
Does
I
she
remember
rem-
that, but
Does she
do you know
remember
why?
why?
Because he's a dick.
It's not really written.
No.
Is there any, ideas that, are more popular than others, rumors?
I mean, gods fight other gods all of the time. What they do in their business is a mystery to the mortal realm most of the time.
Maybe
hard
a
to say.
triggering event between the 2?
Well, I mean, we could always just poke our heads inside and see if there's anything else.
I mean, the other option is just sitting around out here doing nothing.
Or going back.
Well, there's one. I mean, we can go back, right? There is always the possibility that we went the wrong fucking direction. Could be the other way. But Blue Flame has been at the center of a lot.
Yeah.
Are we positive? Velkin, with how much you know about the Black Gate, we know that they collected the Moonstone, among other things. This black stone should be there, right? Where we want to go.
That's what we thought. We thought the Moonstone, part of the tree, were part of the gate that was sundered. And they were... Wait.
They needed
Yes.
that water too.
No, the tree. Something in the tree.
Wisdom saving throw.
Like halfway through that sentence, I was like, fuck, I don't remember this shit. God. I don't remember anything ever that has ever happened.
Buddy.
That's a 0.
Oof.
Ooh.
Roll me a let's say 10.
Oh no. You forget who you are.
Yeah, I was
You're
gonna
about to
say.
get real old.
This is like the whole point of playing intelligence-based characters. I don't have to selectively forget things. 7.
No effect.
Lucky.
So, okay, so we have options of either going in and checking it out or heading our way back the way we just came and going through
in.
the
The dark one.
The awful one, the awful door.
Yeah.
I say if we're here, don't touch anything, but check out this and see if there's maybe something of note.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely they'll just kill us, so it's not that bad overall.
If we go in that door, those statues are gonna fall down, and we're gonna have to fight them or some shit. And you're saying we're not gonna touch anything after that anyway, so it's just as good as looking, except we don't have to fight statues.
Your way sounds boring.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
there
If we're
there
not gonna
could be
touch
more.
anything, we might as well just leave.
I mean, I think we should investigate. There could be like a hidden door or something that I couldn't see from my vantage point. I would really
for
like to
going
find a way
in.
to go that's not back the way we came. Yeah, it's probably going to be a fight. How does everybody feel?
I'm fine.
Fine.
I'm pretty good.
I'm about 50-50 on spell slots right now.
I felt
I
like
think-
shit the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Welcome to age. Get used to it.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I feel like I did when I was 50. It's fine.
Looking
Okay,
at
Calder, open
Roderick.
the door, please.
Real quick, looking at Roderick, I'm just going to say, has that thing talked to you at all?
Which thing? There's a lot of them.
Just the creepy entity voice that you don't recognize as a friend?
It hasn't since last time, right? Term, Evan.
Hasn't. I was trying to think back, but I don't think it has.
Yeah. Not since the hallway. I don't know.
Feel, at least in my experience, I feel like it doesn't talk when we're doing what it wants. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
Seems pretty fucking bad to me.
all right. Are we taking a rest or are we going right in?
I'm aside from not being able to fly again, I'm good to go.
It's risky
Ready
either
as I'll
way.
ever be. Hate
What are
it
you
when
guys
the
doing?
DMs laugh randomly.
It's so funny.
You're the worst.
Smile and wave,
Yeah,
boys.
that's fun.
Smile away.
Just be safe. I'm gonna tap the stone to the door.
Nothing happens.
Hey. Never mind.
All right. Put it away. We going in?
Yep.
Let's go.
Good.
Open the door.
You open the door with a loud creak. You walk in. You're on a large platform. To your right and to your left, kind of there's inlets in the platform that kind of form a window-like shape. And on the floor, you can see these large grates to your left and your right. Seem to be whatever underneath it is producing flame, not blue flame, but regular flame. You don't see flames kind of licking out of the grates or anything like that, but you can just see like this pulsing yellow and reddish hue to your left and your right. Like I said, there are 4 blazers as you look down in the center of the room, kind of lit with regular flame. And in the center, this massive dome, probably sitting about 30 feet across one way to the other in a round circle, housed by these brass large beams that kind of are laid over top of it. The sun's shining down directly upon all the shining crystals that kind of add to the atmosphere here, shining lights all over the ground in this circular fashion. The 2 large crystalline entities floating along with the crystals. On the other side, you can see a similar platform with a broken window, the one that Ren had looked through. Beams and wood kind of collapsed on the staircase there. So there is an opposite side to the room. The whole room itself, probably 100 feet or so in the direction. There is a staircase that leads down in front of you to the center where the dome is housed. These things do not seem disturbed by your presence at the moment. You kind of brace yourself. You watch them float in a circle, slowly hovering around the top of the dome.
I'm going up to take a look.
So it's just a platform that drops off onto the floor.
So it's a platform that's it's not really a platform. It's sort of like a staircase leads up to this higher level of the room, that can lead down to the center where the dome is housed. So right now you're kind of overlooking it just because you're on top of the stairs. So
Is there,
Is there
sort of
anything
like
else
a
on this
catwalk
level?
that goes around? Oh, sorry.
what'd you
Sorry.
say?
I was just going to
Is
say,
there-
is it...
You go. You go.
Give it go.
So, we're on essentially the top of the stairs. Is there like a catwalk level that goes around?
We had the same question.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't go around the whole entire room. So around you there is a railing, but then it gets to the staircase. So it doesn't go across the whole entire room. The only way to get to the other side of the room is to descend downward and then go up the other set of stairs on the other side. What does happen though is you're all kind of taking this sight in. Ook pushes past all of you. You can hear the tinking of the metal as he tink, tink, tink. He begins to descend the stairs, one after another. Tink, tink, very slowly.
yeah.
As he's moving, Mizo jumps off.
What's it doing?
What it's meant to do, I guess. And I'm gonna follow behind him.
Tink, tink, tink. Just
Okay, I
slowly.
guess we're doing this. Off
He
my
raises a hand up. Tink. Places it, puts it up against the dome. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Yeah.
What's your
play?
fucking monkey doing, bro?
Get that monkey under control, boy.
Okay.
Everyone's going to be here next
Thank
week,
you
right?
very much.
We're playing
Monkeys
next
have
week.
tails.
Yes.
Right?
We're
Yes, I
playing
will be
next
there.
If
week.
you have plans, cancel them.
I will be there.
If you have plans, cancel them. All right. That was a session. To anyone watching, thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
That was a session.
Exactly. Was it not a session? During the
wasn't
stream, we got a new follower. That
Hey.
was Treb_Dick, and I'm gonna assume
Dick.
Well,
Hell
that's
yeah.
Richard. So,
Hey, Dick.
yeah, thanks for following, Dick.
Yeah, Dick. Welcome.
But yeah.
That's what happened.
Other than that, make sure you check us out on social media. We have a Discord. We'd love to chat with you guys, discuss theories on what's happening, just send memes, whatever you want to do. Check out our Instagram, TikTok, got clips going up every day, basically. So yeah, however you want to interact. But if you just want to come and watch the stream, that's fine too.
Yeah.
We love you.
Great.
Love you. We love you.
We love you.